This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1923, Previews. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I'm Ian Levinstein.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Chris Everly.
All right. Welcome one and all to the show. And it is indeed previews time and our final full episode of the year. How about that? Hope everybody's having a wonderful extended Christmas season, and may everyone have a lovely new year when it does happen to roll around. And since the next time that we'll be talking to Mr. Murdo, it will be after his birthday. A very happy birthday to Mr. Adam Murdo.
Thanks, guys, and Happy New Year to all.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, stay frosty. But before we get started here on this previews episode, as always, a reminder that you folks over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak are keeping us cheery this holiday season, as without your help, this show would not happen, whether it be in virtual form here via Zoom or whether it be in person at the soon-to-be evaluated studio. Looking forward to hearing the report, as Chris Murd and Shane will be heading over there in the next couple of days to assess what is the state of said studio, and then hopefully next year we'll be able to get back to recording in said studio. But nevertheless, that is indeed the plan. For as little as $1 a month, you keep these plans a-planning. And we thank you so much for all that continued support that you give to the show. Old school donations still available over at comicgeekspeak.com/donate.php if you prefer a PayPal donation. And if you can't monetarily do so, we completely understand and do not give anything more than you are capable of giving. Which means that if support is all you can give, that's all we ask for. So head on over to the comic forums or the Super Show, Super Group, or whatnot to spread the word and conversation. Do it on YouTube, whatever you'd like. And of course, let a friend know about the show, and that will make us very, very happy as well. Patreon.com/comicgeekspeak for all of that. Accidentally called it the Super Show Super Group, but you know what? I'm A-okay with that. All right, and before we get started, a little bit of news on things that I've been up to that I want to make sure that I promote here on the show. There's a brand new podcast that was just released titled Honacity. It's HAHNACITY. And a friend of mine hooked me up with both Laura and Joy. They're former gymnasts who are now telling their story via podcast form. And they came to me to edit the first episode. I'm also going to be editing a couple other things for them as well. So if you're interested in this sort of deep dive into experiences in the business and whatnot, it's a really well done show with two people that are very passionate about the gymnastics scene. And they're sharing their experiences, both good and bad, from being in said scene in the 80s and 90s. You can check them out at www.honacity.com. And they're also currently available on Spotify and Amazon Music. If you don't have either of those and you want to just add it to whatever your podcasting app of choice is, all you need to do is just type in www.honacity.com/feed and then just add that to whatever podcatcher you happen to have. But Joy and Laura are excellent people and want to spread the word about the show for anybody who might be interested in it. So check them out at Honacity, the podcast with Joy and Laura.
Honey pie or is it your good egg?
I try. And you know what else is a good egg? Previews.
Jeez, that was a clunky transition.
That was awful. That was terrible.
I never thought of previews as a good egg, but
I mean, it's sometimes it could be a rotten egg, but Hopefully it isn't this time around.
These are the yolks, folks.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the yoke stops here with DC Connect issue 43, previews issue 423. Over at Marvel, it is issue 27 of theirs, and Image Catalog, it is their February 2024, which I believe is either issue 4 or 5 of theirs. These are all for books that are scheduled to be released in February 2024, as usual, outside of the trades and whatnot, which are probably going to be released a bit later than that. But we are well into next year for the solicitations, and of course, we will begin with Image, as is our want and need. And starting us off this time around on page 4 of the Image catalog, David Ebeltoff and Jordan Hart bring us a 5-issue miniseries called The Cabinet. In this vibrant, tongue-in-cheek adventure series, atypical teen Avani and Midwestern jock Trent teleport across a post-Cold War landscape to collect bizarre relics. Why? Well, because they need to summon the arcane powers of a resplendent 17th century cabinet to fix a teeny tiny mistake the last time Avani used it, unleashing an ancient evil from its prison and accidentally slaughtering her parents, like you do.
What's interesting is saying it's a post-Cold War landscape. Are we to infer there's been a nuclear war?
From the sounds of it, that does sound about right. Although they are in 1984, according to the solicitation pages here on page 6. So this may just be set in in that Cold War, and during the main one, a little bit in the past. But love the art style.
Yeah, art's beautiful.
These pages, very very lush setting, nice special effects, and well realized characters as well. They actually look like the teens that they are, which is a nice change of pace. So 5-issue miniseries, The Cabinet, first issue available on February 14th on page 4. And then for something completely different, Joe Casey's got a new 3-issue miniseries of Dutch. The legendary 90s super soldier returns for an all-new adventure. Enemy from the past has forced Dutch back into the belly of the beast, but will his former teammates welcome him back? Or will a cybernetic kill team get to him first? Nothing more.
Is this an Image character I never knew existed?
I believe that is the case. Dutch does sound vaguely familiar, but I'm also wondering if he just, has inserted him into that one way or the other.
So when I think of the word Dutch, I think of the Schwarzenegger character in Predator.
Eh.
Do it! Get to the chopper! Sorry.
No, please, by all means.
I'm going to rabbit hole very quickly there.
Yeah, Bleeding Cool talks about bringing Dutch back. So I think this is a character that existed back in early Image, and is now being returned in one way or the other.
Right.
There was an issue 0 for this as well, and now this is the first official issue on page 9, available for solicitation, and it's Joe Casey, so it's bound to be good superhero comics.
Certainly. Notice that the cover logo samples each letter from the logo of a different 90s Image series.
Murray, nice pick.
So it's
Good touch.
pretty literally a 90s pastiche going on here.
Mm-hmm.
That was vintage Edamurdo right there, folks. Woo!
Yep.
Man.
Certainly has a Cable look to him, to say the least.
Without a doubt.
Yep. All right, moving it on to page 10, the series premiere of The Infernals by Ryan Parrott and Noah Gardner. Abraham Morgenstern, otherwise known as Abe, the son of Satan. There are a lot of those.
Not the Marvel son of Satan.
No, and not a vegan. He's not a son of Satan. He's a son of Satan.
Oh boy.
Has 1 month to live. Before he dies, he must decide which of his 3 wayward children, volatile narcissist Nero, conflicted field operative Jackal, or troubled schoolgirl B, will inherit his shadowy empire. But will Abe ever be able to truly cede control of the apocalypse? Man, this is like Secession meets Constantine.
I just like they named his kids Nero and Jackal.
Yeah, right? Kind of on the nose, but appreciate it nonetheless. Page 10 for that, and I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. The artwork is, ooh boy, Sienkiewicz-esque, I'd say.
Oh.
Yep, that's exactly the word.
Good stuff. Whole lot of preview pages for that as well. So if you were interested in it, you got a lot to check out. Then Ram V brings us the One Hand, a 5-issue mini on page 16. This is a crime, mystery, sci-fi, dystopian story. Might be for you, Chris. Just
Sounds like it's for me.
Just from that description. Yep. All about a brutal murder which occurs bearing all the hallmarks of the one-hand killer, which should be impossible since our lead, Ari Nasser, put him away not once but twice in the years before. So who is the new One Hand? Is it the one before? Is it a disciple? Is it someone entirely different? You'll have to find that out by checking out this 5-issue miniseries available on February 7th on page 16. Great noir artwork.
Yes, I'm going to definitely try this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that page. Woo.
Yeah.
Nothing like rain at nighttime in a noir story.
Absolutely. All right, let's bring it down a little bit further here. Joe Hill and Jason Charamella bring us Creepshow, Joe Hill's Wolverton Station, a one-shot. As this is a feature-length issue, as Joe Hill is joined by Jason and Michael Walsh to tell the terrifying tale of a businessman whose commute is about to get a lot hairier when his train makes an unexpected stop at Wolverton Station. Creepy, and as a rider of the train myself, I relate to getting off at the wrong stop. This is.
Have you ever had a supernatural experience on the subway, my friend?
No, not yet. I hope to never do so, quite frankly. But you never know. You never know with the New York City subway. But this is interesting. Page 26. It's Joe Hill. It's bound to be creepy, and I like a good one-shot. Paul Cornell, Saucer County.
Great writer.
Yep. Finishing it up here with a one-shot, the finale. So this is on sale February 7th, and this is the long-awaited conclusion of Saucer County.
Saucer Country, my friend.
Saucer Country, you are correct. There's always
I've never read this, but it's Paul Cornell, so it's certainly worth a shot.
Yep. Yeah, I believe the rest of Saucer Country is available in one form or another, but this is excellent artwork by Ryan Kelly.
Great Ryan Kelly artwork,
Yep.
Oh, wow. That looks great.
Mm-hmm. And Antarctica, Volume 1 available as well. Stargate meets His Dark Materials is a good description for me. 5-issue miniseries all collected together here. And Simon Burks and Willie Roberts. You check that out on page 36 if you want to get in on the ground floor. I think there might be more to come for that one as well.
Here you go, honey.
Yep. Complete Library, Volume 5 hardcover, not for the Shanes, but this is
Invincible. Yep.
Yeah, man. And there's also going to be a signed and numbered edition of the Complete Invincible Library Volume 5 by Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley, and Corey Walker. That's limited to 300 copies. And this is on page 37, and it has 624 pages to it, collecting issues 97 through 120.
Levy, forgive me, Invincible ended, correct?
Yes, and Invincible has been over for a while now.
Okay.
Yeah. He may decide to come back to it at some point, but I have the 12 Ultimate Edition volumes.
Those are nice.
Yeah, which are a little bit easier to read than something that this ginormous.
Speaking of distaste for ginormous collections,
I am redeemed.
Haha.
Ellie is here.
Yes.
he can't speak
Audio.
yet.
There we go. Shano.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good to
sir.
see you, brother. Good to see you.
Shane.
So how do I sound?
You sound fine.
Because I have this little nifty microphone in front of me.
Ah, very
If
nice.
that's what's picking up.
I mean, you sound good. Check in your mic to see in your mic settings to make sure that is indeed the one that is available. But nonetheless, you do sound good.
I don't want to mute.
In the actual Zoom settings itself, where the that upward arrow or whatnot.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see, microphone. Yeah, blue snowball. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, it's a blue snowball. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was Ben's, and then he got something different a few years ago, and this kind of got shuttered away, and then somehow it ended up here, and I saw it the other day after we recorded the last episode. I thought, I wonder if this still works.
Yeah, might as well.
You sound as sonorous as ever, my friend.
Excellent.
Blue Snowball was one of the first mics I bought when podcasting. The very, very, very early version of it that actually looked like a snowball. So.
Well, yeah, this one's kind of ballish.
Yep. Well, we just mentioned your name because I was talking about how the Invincible Complete Library will not be how you wind up reading Invincible.
Yeah. How many thousands of pages is this one?
624 pages. So it's going to be a hefty, heavy beast.
Yeah, that's a hefty tome. I was sitting over at the desk finishing a Lego of some kind. What was it? It was a little Christmas Star Wars one that's out right now. And I was looking over because right to the right of that is my trade paperbacks and hardcovers, and its eye level is the Starman ones, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's the way to make an omnibus is the Starman ones.
Completely agreed on that one. Those were some beautiful trades.
There's a few things as I'm looking through previews and whatnot, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really 700 pages, forget it.
Every single one of them has in parentheses, not for Shane.
Yeah. Now somehow I do have, of course, the Fantastic Four one that Chris got us when we did the tribute to Jamie, and that's on the shelf. And I do have the first two Justice League volumes, but I bought them extremely discounted. I think the first one I got it like 60% off, and the second one was even more. But I didn't order the third one yet because I'm waiting for that one to go discounted before I get yet another omnibus. But I think that's about it. The Hawkman one's the next closest that I have, the Jeff Johns Hawkman.
Oh, that's a great collection.
That's not all that big. That's not gargantuan like all these other ones. So
sure. Yeah.
Shane, glad you're with us.
Thank you. Plans change, and here we are.
Levy Pooh, you've often lauded the book Firepower, haven't you?
Yes, I have, and
not read it yet.
And now I look forward to reading it in its entirety, as this is volume 6. Firepower. I'm surprised it only lasted 30 issues, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad because that means it's a nice, well-contained story.
I love complete stories.
Indeed. Yeah. Yep. And Robert Kirkman and Chris Tommy have been doing a terrific job on it so far. So I look forward to seeing how it's going to all wrap up here with this 6th volume on page 39. And then volume 5 of Radiant Black available on page 40. So you get to...
Tremendous title. I'm now reading it in trade because I fell too far behind. I'm just reading the trades now.
I just came across volume 1 sitting over there waiting.
Yes.
We have to talk about that.
At some point.
We are, this new year is definitely going to be the time, sir. Definitely going to be the time.
Yep, it's going to be a book of some month.
Exactly.
Coming soon to a month near you.
Yep. Book of A, parentheses eventual, and parentheses month. That's the series. But I would like to bang it out before the end of Q1 2024 to put it in business terms. So that's hopefully going to be the case. So within that first quarter of 2024.
Wait, we're recording. I'm not talking work here with quarter this, quarter close. No. January, February, March, man. Give me months.
The comic book business is booming. It's booming, baby. But
that's gold, Jerry.
This collects a interesting collection of issues, by the way. I just want to point that out. Radiant Black Volume 5 collects Radiant Black number 25 A and B, 26, 26.5, 27, and 27.5.
All right.
Yeah. So this is all part of the Massiverse, catalyst war going on, and Kyle Higgins is a master to no one but himself, and he will not use your numbering terms. He will use his own. for his issues, and he's definitely proving that here with this volume 5 on page 40. All right, moving it on to a omnibus of Howard Chaykin's Times Squared. Always loved the name of that series. This completes the trilogy with a new 48-page volume, Hallowed Ground Zero, plus many never-before-seen extras from the project, all together here in a 208-page package, available on page 44 for you to check.
I'm sorry to say, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, this I remember hearing of it a few years back, and this is a completely remastered version of it. It debuted in American Flag Special, and then it had 2 volumes, disappeared entirely, and then they went back and finished it off about a year or so back, if I remember correctly. And now here it is, all collected in one package. So,
what is the premise of the story?
If I'm remembering correctly, let me get the full description for it, because I don't want to misspeak. Let's see, Howard Chaykin, there we go. Graphically experimental. Yeah, it's the exact same description. Wow, how about actually telling me more about it?
Look, it looks like a detective of some kind in the visual.
You are correct. Yes.
I love his artwork. God.
So this is saying that it encompasses the American Flag Special, the Epiphany, the Satisfaction, and of Mariah, and the 48-page special.
Yeah, and then absolutely nothing about the actual story, which is
okay.
not very useful.
What I'm intrigued about is not only is it Howard Chaykin, Times Squared gives me some like time travel weirdness thought in my head, and
at least
it's not unreasonable for an omnibus.
Oh yeah,
going with our brief discussion.
208 pages, Shane, $35.
Yeah, I'm like, that might be worth reading.
I hope so.
As a teenager, getting a copy of the American Flag Special as part of a grab bag that I ordered from the American Entertainment send-away ads they used to have.
Yes,
back in those days.
I remember those.
I could not make heads or tails of it at the time. It's time travel weirdness, but it's kind of the Slaughterhouse-5 non-linear, unstuck in time variety, and it's also a little bit akin to the Jim Henson short film Timepiece. I think it's just kind of weirdness going off in many different directions.
Okay.
This is based on 30-year-old recollections of paging through the thing once. So take what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Murd, I'll take your 30-year-old recollections over most people.
Yeah. Not to mention that it is proving very, very hard for me to find any information on this outside of the wonderful blurb, which is graphically experimental, narratively daring, and visually explosive on every single site. So,
in other words, impossible to encapsulate because it's so weird and abstruse.
That is about right. So we're just going to stick with that and say, if you're a fan of Howard Chaykin, check it out on page 44. And then Void Rivals Volume 1 available on page 46. I'm looking forward to reading this whole thing here. This is the first 6 issues of Void Rivals, which started off the Energon universe, combining Transformers and G.I. Joe into one, combined universe on page 46. Robert Kirkman, Lorenzo De Felici, and Matthias Lopez are the crafters behind this story on page 46. All right, and then just about everything else is ongoing in
looking forward to that Cobra Commander and Duke comics that are coming out.
Yeah, hey, you know what? You take a look at that cover for Cobra Commander, and this arrived last week.
Buzzard. Oh, a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Nice.
Finally some Dreadnoughts. It took 3 years to get Ripper and Buzzard.
They are calling it G.I. Joe issue 304 on page 59, and just straight up, no issue 4 or nothing. It's just issue 304.
I still think that after Cobra Commander and Duke wrap up, I still think there'll be a G.I. Joe title specific to that universe.
I'm sure there will.
I can't see this Energon universe being tied into Larry Hama's story that's continuing in 304, 305.
I'm sure it won't be.
They're going to wind up distinguishing it. This will be G.I. Joe real American hero, and then they'll launch G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I'm thinking.
that'll probably be the difference.
Yep.
Or like G.I. Joe Energon or something like that. Finish it all out.
God, they should bring back the mask into that too.
Hold on, Shane. Hold on. Hope
Yep.
springs eternal.
Mm-hmm.
You and Knights. What's yours, Murd?
Visionaries, Knights of
Visionaries.
the Magical Light.
That's right.
Yep. And I would just like a comic book ending to Pirates of Darkwater after all these years. That would make me happy, because
I'd be in favor of that too.
that's another one of those ones that I loved as a kid, and they concluded it before it had a chance to actually get to its finale, which was frustrating back then. Also, just a note, page 67, Love Everlasting, issue 12. Tom
Waiting
King
for the trade. Waiting for the trade on that one.
Yep, Tom King and Elsa Charretier finishing the 12th issue of that series on page 67.
Here's the book for us, Shane. If you go back just a little bit there,
Mhm.
Ian. How to be a hero at 50.
Yep.
Nope, I'm too old. 51. That does me no good now.
issue 5 of Bucoletto's Midlife, or How to Hero at 50. So there will be a trade available of that very shortly. Page 68.
Well, get moving, because time's a waste and I'm getting older.
Yep. Issue 15 of New Burn,
Tremendous series. Tremendous.
page 71. Chip Zdarsky and Amy Chase with Jacob Phillips and Fabian Lille. And that's about it, I think. On
No saga. No saga. No Lazarus.
saga. I did, however, just pick up volume 11,
Ah,
and I will have more on that our next comic talk.
I look forward to it, sir.
Apparently, there is a spoiler cover that's going to be
What a
released.
great Transformers cover. Wow.
Yeah,
it's
with
amazing.
Optimus looking at Megatron's gun.
Yeah.
Yep. Dan Warren Johnson. More of him.
And like Ian said, spoiler cover, so something's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Starscream revives one of the most powerful Decepticons to eliminate the Autobots once and for all. In issue 5 of Transformers.
Okay, now what Decepticon do you think that is?
Soundwave.
Soundwave?
Well, he's on that other cover. I can't imagine it being. I'm sure it could be, but I can't imagine it being Megatron, because Starscream almost hates Megatron
Yeah.
and always just wants to take
He's
over.
always
So
plotting
why,
against him.
Why
Isn't Soundwave the one
revive?
with the cat that jumps out of his cassette?
Soundwave is, yeah.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Jaguar jumps out.
Yeah,
It's
right.
gosh, who's inside there? Oh my
Ravage?
God, it's Ravage Frenzy, Rumble Frenzy, Ravage Rapat.
Yes. There you go. Yep. Well, this is on page 80, and can't wait to find out what the spoiler is, because
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be related to this. I think it's going to be
No.
something else for them to have to hide it.
If anything, the cover there with Optimus looking at Megatron's thing is part of the spoiler, even though it's unintended, is that he's coming across Megatron and realizing that he's back, and oh God, something else happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Matthew Rosenberg's "What's the Furthest Place from Here" concludes its latest story arc on page 84. Conclusion to the Battle of the Keepers arc. If you're interested in that or following it in trade, you'll have a trade coming soon. That's on page 84. And that is it for Image. Head back over to the main previews, and I can't wait to talk about Dynamite when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
As the little kid in me is a very happy man.
Hmm? Scroll of omens, give us sight beyond
You're a big
sight.
kid, Levy Poo.
Oh, we're all big kids. We're all
I was
big.
gonna say, hey, that's just not his thing.
I know. All right, here we go.
Come on, go back.
Come on. Oh, well, you know what? While we're here, because this is the first site that we're really getting of this. Before we get the Site Beyond site, let's talk about Free Comic Book Day, which the offerings begin on page 31 and then follow from there. There's Boom is just straight out putting up the Worlds of James Tynion IV as a Free Comic Book Day 2024 issue. So a whole bunch of James Tynion IV properties together in one issue. And right underneath that, Dynamite.
Johnny Quest.
Yeah. Johnny Quest, written by someone with art by someone.
Could have just put TBD there, but instead they
Yeah.
decided to be.
Yep. So
Someone.
Clearly, that is the name of the writer and artist. Someone. That's it. But Johnny Quest is returning, and Dynamite will have it at some time, somewhere, with someone.
By someone.
Exactly.
Doing something.
I still just love the name Race Bannon.
Oh, it's so good. Speaking of the Energon universe, Transformers and G.I. Joe, welcome to the Energon universe special Free Comic Book Day 2024 edition. Written by Robert Kirkman and various others. Art by Lorenzo De Felici and various. This is classified. So, yeah, more spoilery things are going to be happening on page 33. That's available for pre-order as well for the Free Comic Book Day. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a Free Comic Book Day issue. Ultimate Universe / Spider-Man #1.
Doom.
Yep. We got Doom. And this is the Ultimate
And the Goblins.
Universe. Yeah. This is the Ultimate Universe, so it's actually probably Reed Richards. Going off of what I found in that Ultimate Invasion where Reed was under the mask. This may very well still be the case. Or it is Doom. So we don't know. We'll just have to find out. Blood Hunt interests me. The X-Men #1 Free Comic Book Day edition. As I believe we're going to be getting some sort of restart to the X-Men universe.
Just going to ask you that. Didn't I read that today quickly sometime
Yep.
in passing just today?
Yeah, well, Tom Brevoort is taking over as head of the line. So he's now going to be the main editor of the X-Men line, and as part of that, we're getting a reboot. Whatever happens after the Krakoa era will be beginning in the new year in one form or another. So this Free Comic Book Day issue will definitely have something to do with that.
Back to X-Men 97.
Why not? And for me, the Witches of Brooklyn. Just because it's the Witches of Brooklyn, and I like Brooklyn.
Yeah. Sure.
Anything else of note on these pages? Snoopy Beagle Scout Adventures, out of Andrews McNeil on page 35.
Snoopy.
Yep.
There is one that I'm looking for, and when I put my order in, and you're prompted to pick a few Free Comic Book Day ones, I could not find it, so I got to figure out how to get to Golden Eagle to get it.
Yep.
There's a Gatchaman Free Comic Book Day for a new G-Force Battle of the Planet series coming.
Oh, wow.
That I am extremely excited about.
Very cool. There it is. There, actually, page 38. Yep.
But it wasn't part of the offerings when I put my order in. I'm like, oh.
And next to that, Flash Gordon.
Yeah. Mind you, the writers on both of these. Yeah. Jeremy Adams on Flash Gordon, Cullen Bunn on Gatchaman.
Yep.
Good guess.
I'm going to get these.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that Gatchaman.
Yep. And that's out of Mad Cave Studios for both of them. So nice, very, very good gets indeed.
Yeah.
Dan Panosian did the cover for the Flash Gordon. Chris Somney did it for the Gatchaman. Good talent indeed behind all of this. And
I've seen a couple preview sketches somewhere else on the interwebs for Gatchaman. It looks incredible.
Yep. Oh, and you got a Loud House issue there, Murd, for out of Paper Cuts.
Happy to see it. I don't know if there's going to be any content I haven't seen before, but still I'm glad that they're continuing with that property. And if you could just scroll up a little bit more, there's the thing that interested me the most out of this whole list is on the bottom of page 39 there. Coming out of Massive, a new take on Popeye.
Oh, look at that.
Written and drawn by Marcus Williams, giving it a little bit of manga infusion.
There's those forearms.
And, not every American property accepts the manga gene graft equally well, but this, I think it's going to work beautifully with Popeye.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yep. Very, very manga DNA in a lot of ways. Yep.
Shane, what's your take on the Robin Williams movie?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's not perfect, but I enjoy it, and I watch it every. Not as much as I rewatch other things, but I do watch it every now and then. It's what's her name? Shelley Duvall did a fantastic Olive Oil. There's the one, and part of seeing that is not only was it jarring because it was live action and Robin Williams and not exactly what I was expecting as a kid, but it still turned out pretty well. But in the middle of it, you get a couple times songs, almost musical-esque. And the one that Shelley Duvall sings about her love for Popeye just sticks in my head yet to this day for the most part.
Yeah, I have to watch it. It's been a long time.
I
She's-
smell a retro movie review.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Perhaps,
Um,
perhaps. Add
yeah,
that.
Let me note the Conan book because I've been raving about Conan for the past several months because it's just that good. And this is Jim Zub, the writer of Conan, and art by Jonas Scharf, and then cover art by the magnificent Roberto de la Torre. So anyone wants to give this Conan a try, here's a way to go with it.
Yep, and that's on page 41 right there. And
but the Conan you're reading is in Marvel, right? Like
No.
No? Okay.
Titan. Titan Publishing.
Yeah, Marvel lost the license about a year ago at this point, and they phased him out, and now Titan is doing their Conan books, and that's about it for Free Comic Book Day. Now let's
love the T-shirts for Free Comic Book Day or Strangers in Paradise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Started off with the Displaced issue 1 on page 50. The city of Oshawa, Ontario has vanished without a trace. Even worse, nobody remembers it or the 170,000 missing residents that disappeared along with it. As the survivors all fall into the forgotten, they must seek each other out if they hope to have any chance of surviving in a world that no one believes they exist.
Great concept.
Yeah, very cool. Yep. Ed Brisson and Luca Casalanguida are the writer and artist behind this premise, and I dig it on page 50. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the 4400 in some ways, and it's got some Lost elements and vibes to it. Very, very mysterious. All working well with it, and great artwork on the next couple of pages to go along with it. Yep. Meanwhile, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return, issue 1 of 4, written by Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger herself.
Yeah.
And Matt Hodson, illustrated by Nico Leon. In an alternate universe, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers finally defeated Rita and Zed, but at a terrible cost. In the wake of tragedy, the team went their separate ways. Now, 22 years later, the long-disbanded team reunites to mourn the losses of beloved friends, but Zach and Billy have some unexpected information to share. Jason, the Red Ranger, has been operating as a lone vigilante and has since disappeared. Will the remaining Rangers be able to track him down, especially with a mysterious figure in pursuit? Cool alternate reality premise here for the Power Rangers on page 56.
Yeah.
Love it when they go elseworlds with any sort of property, and this feels like it should be really, really cool, and with the pedigree of the Pink Ranger herself behind it.
Sure.
Page 56. Dan Mora variant is
Man, that guy's just batting 1,000.
so good. All right, moving it down further into here. Grim Pen and Ink by Stephanie Phillips and illustrated by Flaviano. Wow. Deluxe Pen and Ink collection continues with one of the biggest hits of the last 2 years with an in-depth black and white look at Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano's Grim #1, available in full black and white. And this introduced the world to Jessica Harrow, and this is a new take on pre-existing issue on page 68. Get the black and white behind the scenes of it all. Then Dan Abnett's Wild's End Beyond the Sea, collected first 6 issues on page 69.
We'll talk more about Animal Pound once we have. I mentioned the Ash Can our last comic talk, but deeply excited about this. King's basic tip riff on Animal Farm.
Yep, issue 1 just hit the stands, or is just about to hit the stands as we record this, and now issue 2 available for pre-order as well on page 70. Kyle Stark's issue 2 of Pine and Merrimack, available on the next page as well, page 71.
I'll be reading Under Heist. We talked about that in our last the David Lapham book. So when that comes out, I'll be commenting on that.
David and Maria Lapham, while we're at it. Page 72. And that's about it for Boom. Anything else catch your eyes, gents, before we move on?
Just
I'm good,
the
honey
title
pie.
for the Firefly, the Fall Guys, and just makes me go back to the old TV show. Even though nothing related to Firefly, but
No, fair enough. Fair
with the
enough.
new movie coming out, I'm excited to kind of see what that does.
What new movie?
Fall Guy.
Oh, Fall Guy. I thought you meant Firefly. I was like, really?
No,
Oh, Fall Guy I'd
no.
heard about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great if there was a new Firefly
Yeah.
movie. My God.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, the Fall Guy is in Lee Majors, the Fall Guy.
Yeah, but what's his name? Who's in Barbie is going to play
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Great actor.
The I saw the preview for the movie and it looks excellent. Actually.
Yeah, looks fun.
Yeah.
Gosling rarely picks a bad movie to be in.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, he just put out a Christmas version of "I'm Just Ken," and it's delightful.
Oh boy.
Oh, jeez, I didn't hear that yet.
Yep, just hit YouTube. Page 85.
Oh wow.
Thunder, Thundercats! Ho!
They're on the move. They're on the loose.
They are indeed, and Declan Shelby is the man behind it. Good pedigree. Drew Moss on the artwork chores. This is the first ongoing Thundercats book in quite some time. There were a couple of miniseries a while back. I remember Ed McGuinness had his take on the Thundercats many years ago, and I think Freddie Williams was involved in a Thundercats miniseries, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is Thundercats #1. Beginning at the beginning, essentially, with the Thundercats led by an inexperienced Lion-O, they must band together as never before to protect their legacy from this combined enemy of Mumra and others. We get back to Thundercats the way that it should be. So
Yeah,
good stuff. Page 85.
it's exciting.
Yep. And the character designs by Drew Moss are. They're classic and they're his own at the same time.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, I just think Lionel's legs are a little too thin for how broad his chest and arms are, but it's not terrible.
I love Chitara.
Yeah.
I appreciate a Chitara that's a little bit more on the muscular side because, she's with all the jumping and flips that she does and stuff like that. She needs thunder calves, and that's exactly what she gets. And then Tigra, Wily Cat, and Wily Kid are all on point.
Just with that exposition there, Wily Kit and Cat kind of reversed to me. I always feel like Wily Kit comes first. I don't know why.
No, I agree with you.
Maybe you're thinking of Kit Kat?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe.
And wow, look at that Mumra. Man, somebody's been eating his Wheaties. Mr. Priest.
Yes, Vampirella.
Yep. Issue 666 of Vampirella.
Yep,
Wow.
they're doing legacy numbering for a while.
Yep.
I read the first arc he did. And I've never read Vampirella in my life, and it was great. It was a classic Priest. He made it accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
And he's reunited with the same artist, Erwin Gundiz.
Mm-hmm.
And this issue apparently is also reprinting a wordless 6-pager. Originally published back in 1999, which was written by Priest with art by Alan Davis.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That'd
Added
be good.
incentive there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on 666 issues of Vampirella. One of the few titles that could use that as a milestone.
Yeah.
Bill Willingham bringing us Fire and Ice Tigra, along with Gabriel De Caro on page 97. New chapter in the Fire and Ice saga. Willingham bringing that one out for you.
Now, Fire and Ice was an animated film?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which I've never seen it, but
Yeah, and Willingham did a couple of Fire and Ice things in somewhat recent memory. I remember discussing them on previous previews. So this is another one in that same continuation that he's been doing on page 97. Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. That's a match made in hell, to say the least.
is there someone currently in pop culture playing Elvira now?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Elvira's Elvira. Yep.
Okay.
There has not been a replacement Elvira that's come in.
She still makes appearances, doesn't she?
Very, very occasionally, Shane. I think for the most part she's retired, but that's a more recent development. I think within the last like year or so, she announced that she was going to stop her, convention appearances and whatnot.
The first horror host ever to be syndicated nationally.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now she gets to meet Lovecraft. Unspeakable answer in this eldritch tale of cosmic comedy and tentacled terror. David Allen. Yep. Page 103. Whenever Cthulhu is involved,
I cannot wait to get the first issue of Garth Ennis writing James Bond. Wow.
A spy who went up into the cold.
I cannot wait to read this.
Wow. Britannia made
stay tuned.
Waves, but what about the skies? Fascinating. Also, great cover. Look at that cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Garth Ennis and Rafa Labosco, covered by Dave Johnson.
I like how he draws James Bond. He's still good looking, but he's hard. Like he just has this hard countenance about him.
And I feel like he's not necessarily drawing from a specific Bond, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And they haven't done that in any of the Dynamite comics.
Yeah.
He's not modeled after any of the actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I'm sure that, like, if you did one of those like face morphing apps, it would probably combine it. Like I've seen people do that with Peter Parker too, and like it was funny. One of the face morphs looked a lot like the Peter Parker that we got in the Insomniac games. So I feel like that's kind of what they did. Is like we'll take a little bit of Andrew Garfield, a little bit of Tobey Maguire, and a little bit of Tom Holland, combine them into one, and then bam, Spider-Man. Lilo and Stitch issue 2, absolutely adorable cover there. Greg Pak and Julia Giaconio, continuing that on page 111.
That is one movie I never saw.
Oh, you have to, Shane.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
There's in the last, that's probably one of the first ones. In the last, I can't tell you how many years, there's a bunch of Disney and Disney Pixar movies I just haven't seen.
Well,
which is very unusual for me.
Put Lilo and Stitch on the top of your list. I'm sure you have a Disney Plus account.
Oh, yeah.
That is a absolute classic of a movie. It really is. Love that one to pieces. And it's all about family. Justice Ducks issue 3. Can't wait for this one to be collected. Page 115.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that out. So I might have gotten the issues, but I'll certainly get it in a collected somewhere.
And same with this Negaduck miniseries that Jeff Parker's been writing. That's on page 116.
And on this teaser on pages 118 and 119. One of Disney's greatest villains returns. Be careful what you wish for.
Ooh.
Up against, rolling desert dunes in the background. So that's Aladdin is easily my favorite movie of the 90s Disney Renaissance.
I agree.
Yep.
I've been resisting these Disney villains miniseries that Dynamite's been putting up, but if they're doing Jafar and or Iago, I think I'm going to be in for that.
Oh, absolutely,
Iago.
Yeah. I also I love the animated series they did for Aladdin too. That aired.
Yeah.
I absolutely legitimately funny stuff.
Oh yeah.
I was just talking at work last week about the original release of Aladdin. I know I saw it in the theater. And the opening song, as the movie starts, was changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and cut out the line, and where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
still sounds so
intense, and the heat is immense, or something like that.
It still sounds so strange to me. In my head, I hear the original. Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home.
If either of you ever have a chance to see the Aladdin Broadway musical,
I would like to.
That is absolutely worth it, because they reinsert a lot of the backstory for Aladdin that was taken out.
Right, his mother, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Proud of Your Boy is in the musical, which is one of the most lovely songs that was cut from the original version of the movie for time and as the story changed.
Wow.
Ashman's original there is just terrific. Plus, they added a bunch more, story to make it an actual, musical length. And the special effects they use for the carpet are outstanding.
Am I right in thinking that at least when it started, the actor who played Jafar in the movies was on Broadway?
I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look that up for confirmation. But
I think that's what I read.
The genie that they had is one of my favorite Broadway actors. Okay. And I actually just saw him. We both saw him in Spamalot.
Who was that?
The guy who played the king in
Get Out.
Spamalot was the original genie.
Okay, nice.
And just because I mentioned it, Dan Castellaneta is easily if you're gonna have anybody else play the genie other than Robin Williams, Dan Castellaneta is the guy that you choose. So he was great in the animated series.
Murd, I think we should have a road trip up to see that sometime.
Yeah,
Spamalot?
No, Aladdin.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
but I'd see Spamalot again too. That was fun. I really enjoyed it.
I'll gladly join you folks. I'll see you for a second time. No
Me too, fellas.
Hey, there you go.
Awesome. Now we got a party.
That'd be great. Yeah,
fantastic. All right.
We're all crafting.
I always love how Ian contemptuously goes right past the garbage pail kids.
Don't have to talk about it. We're just moving on.
He does so with the complete encouragement of at least one other person on the call.
Maybe two.
Yep, you better believe it. And then
not my favorite property in the world.
No.
Once again, eventually I'll have to talk to somebody in the know as to why there's still image solicitations in previous catalog. But anyway,
I'm grateful because I never get the image separate catalog with my DCBS shipments.
Sure. Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense for it to be there. I just swore up and down that they weren't distributing via, Diamond anymore. But go figure. All right, moving on to DC Connect, and once
Zdarsky!
again, yes, we are back. Issue 142, and the tragic death of the leader of the Red Hood gang in a vat of chemicals has become the subject of myth. But what is the heartbreaking and gruesome tale of the monster who walked away from the violent birth? And how does it affect Batman's distant future? The Joker Year One begins here, and not in the miniseries, in the main comic book.
Yeah,
great.
Which goes weekly for for this month alone.
Excellent.
And we'll be reading and discussing.
Yep. Page 1, 2, 3. First 3 issues are available there. So yeah, 142, 143, and 144.
It's a 3-part story. Yep.
Is it only 3-part? Yeah, it's only 3-part stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, climactic, chilling conclusion in part 3 there.
I think I put that on my order.
I can't wait, and I mean it'll be on. Actually, best part is that because they're only a month behind, that'll be a weekly release on the app as well.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Sinister Sons. Yes. Pete Tomasi, Dave LaFuente. They're bad to the bone, ready to brawl, and the sons of 2 of the deadliest villains in the galaxy. They're the Sinister Sons of the DC Universe, and the DC Universe will never be the same. Son of General Zod and the son of Sinestro. Wow.
Sure.
Shane, quick callback for you. The son of Zod reminds me of Corey Feldman in Dream a Little Dream.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Of which I do. As ridiculous as that movie is, I love that movie.
Oh, we talk about it all the time. Sure.
And part of it's because Jason Robards in it. I mean, it can't be all bad if he's in it.
The LaFuente art is perfect for this story. Just looking at it. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Page 4.
Ian, there's not a plane hurtling into your apartment, is there?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Well, you know what? Because I changed microphones and it's a little bit more sensitive, you may very well be hearing the train in the background.
Ah, man, that's what it was.
That's what I was thinking I was hearing. Yeah.
I live directly next to an overground train. So whether I like it or not, no matter where I'm standing in here, you're probably going to hear the 6 train at some point. Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum. John Layman behind that on page 6. Fans of the Suicide Squad, you get yourself a nice one-shot and 5-issue miniseries, that is, as it starts up here. My favorite There's an asterisk here. Terms apply. See dc.com/suicide-squad-fact for details. DC Universe Infinite is not intended for children, as this will receive. This will come with bonus digital codes for Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum, and they had to put that in the asterisk there, that it'll include stuff for the video game that is not for kids.
Oh.
I like that Mr. Zaz doll there that it comes with.
Well, at first I thought that was the ventriloquist. I'm like, no, that doesn't look great.
Yeah. The covers for this continue to look so good. Justice League, Godzilla versus Kong. I just saw Godzilla -1 in the theaters earlier this week, so I'm in a Godzilla mood.
I just don't get it.
I kind of do. In fact, I'm strongly considering making that my birthday movie this year. Would you recommend it?
Godzilla, the comic.
I meant the comic. The Godzilla movie I get.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, the movie I get.
Mert, I would highly recommend you see it because it's well done. It's a grounded Godzilla story, which is absolutely the way that I prefer it. For it to be steeped in Japanese lore that also happens to involve a giant ass monster, and that's the way that they execute this. They're even releasing a black and white version in Japan.
Oh wow!
To make it even closer to old school Godzilla.
Gojira.
Yes. The only problem that I have with it is the marketing, because when I was at the theater, there was a father with like 4 kids that were looking to get a showing for Godzilla -1, and it didn't work out time-wise. So he was saying to them, "Don't worry, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll wind up seeing it." And I really wanted to whisper to him, "It's in Japanese with English subtitles. This may not be the Godzilla that you're looking for," because Monarch is on Apple TV Plus right now. There's a Godzilla Kong crossover movie coming out soon. Like, Godzilla in America means something very, very different than Godzilla in Japan.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it sure does.
So,
is it the Godzilla CGI or a man in a rubber suit?
It's a combo. It's not a man in the rubber suit, but they're definitely using models.
Okay.
And because of that, it feels a lot more real, and just
great.
The model they're using for Godzilla is pitch perfect. So very
I
very.
I just kind of miss the man in the suit stomping around Toy Cities.
Oh,
Sure.
Yep. But issue 5 of said Godzilla versus Justice League versus Kong, in whatever order you want it to be, is available on page 8.
Shane, if the Justice League can fight a giant starfish, surely they can also fight a giant lizard.
I'm not saying I won't check it out in the app, but I think this is the issue where later they have a collected JL Ape one, and I went, oh god.
Let's
point out in Nightwing.
Up in this catalog.
Sorry, Mert.
Oh yeah,
cringe.
Nightwing 111, a Batman appearance.
Exactly. Let's pause for a moment here and just just take it in. Just taking that Bruno Redondo cover. Oh, so good. Page 11 for that. And London, One Night Only, Outsiders #4. Wanzig and Kelly, artwork by Robert Carey, on page 12. I'm glad this series exists. I agree with Matt and some others who have said that they should have just named it Planetary, but they're going for Outsiders for a reason here, I'm sure, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Issue 7 of The Penguin by Tom King, page 13 there.
Continuing a year 1 style retelling of the first meeting between Penguin and Batman in this version of continuity.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that Penguin TV series should be coming out on Max sooner than later. I've been seeing further advertisements.
Yeah, I saw some advertisements for it. Yep.
Oh, and in Poison Ivy number 19, bottom of page 14 there, it's a retelling of Poison Ivy's secret origin for the first time in a while.
Jeez.
Oh, very good.
From Ivy's own point of view.
Yeah. G. Willow Wilson's been doing a terrific job with the series, so I'm glad that now she gets to have her spin on the origin. Wesley Dodds, The Sandman, issue 5, Jay Garrick, The Flash, issue 5, and Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, issue 5, all available on page 15. Glad these series exist. And
It's the golden age.
yep. Jason Todd returns in Red Hood the Hill #1.
Sharon Martinborough is writing. And art by
Yes.
Sanford Green. Great team.
This is going to be great. Welcome to the Hill, formerly one of Gotham's most dangerous suburbs, a place that requires its residents to band together to keep themselves safe when the police, and sometimes even Batman, wouldn't. Now, as the Hill finds itself gentrifying, old habits die hard, as a vigilante known only as Strike works with her team to keep the town safe. But she's not alone. Jason Todd is more than happy to don the visage of Red Hood to help Strike keep his new home safe. This sounds like an excellent...
And Sharon Martinborough is no slouch as a penciler as well.
Yeah.
Great team.
And oh my God, oh, look at those pages.
Sanford Green.
Beautiful.
Great artist.
Beautiful. 6-issue miniseries launching on page 16.
Think of Green's great work with David Walker on... Then they redid Power Man and Iron Fist, which a brief but celebrated run. Then, of course, Bitter Root. Good stuff.
Yep. They're also republishing the what is being branded as Red Hood the Hill issue 0, which were originally in Red Hood Outlaw number 51 and 52, which set up this this concept on page 17. Ah, yes.
Murd, here you go.
Murd for you.
Me can wait.
Terrific.
Beautiful.
Yeah, liking that Paulo Rivera Bizarro World variant cover.
Oh yeah.
Rivera.
Oh, that's great. That's excellent.
I've already got a Paulo like head sketch of Bizarro from
Nice.
those long ago days when like circa 2007 or so. Yeah, now he's moved on to doing a variant cover of those characters, and if it's not too expensive on DCBS, I'll probably order myself a copy.
Excellent.
Murd, I'm looking at my 2008 Paulo Rivera Dr. Doom head sketch right now. Great stuff.
I appreciate that this is a Bizarro that's certainly akin to Ed McGuinness's Bizarro, which is one of my favorite Bizarro designs. And man, whenever we see Bizarro, it's great. When it's Jason Aaron doing Bizarro, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
He's going to advance it conceptually, and I'm going to be there for it.
Absolutely. Yep. Page 18 for that. Action Comics, issue 1062.
And again, the Superman series by Josh Williamson, just consistently superb.
Oh, yeah.
Really enjoying it thoroughly.
Introducing the Lex Luthor Revenge Squad. Oh, man. Page 19 for that. And then kneel
before Zod.
Almost in sync there, Chris.
You're not the president. A man who leads so many would never kneel so quickly. We got to do Superman 2 at some point. We really do.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Well,
I have the Donna version of that on my Apple account.
I was going to say, as we've mentioned before, if and when we do, more like when we do it for Retro Movie Review, it's going to be both. We're going to do Superman 2 and we're going to do Superman 2 the Donner Cut. It has to happen. Both of which are available. If you don't currently own them and have Vudu, you can get copies of both of them via our favorite disc to digital workaround. So,
Beat the son of our jailer. Sorry.
Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 24. Wade and Moore continues.
I just read the second chapter of the Kingdom Come story. It's so good. God. Oh.
I have to get on the ball. I'm so far behind on that series.
Look at that Power Girl cover.
Oh, yeah. That looks great. Citizens of Metropolis are missing, looking for an escape. Many have fallen victim to Avalon, a new street drug that transports you to a simpler era, the medieval times. And turns out that it's not just a trip you take in your mind. People are being physically transported to this magical plane, too. Looks like a job for Power Girl and her new BFF, Supergirl? Cousins in more ways than one on page 21.
There you go, Shane. Fire and Ice.
Oh, I know. I have the first two or three issues to read right now.
Excellent. Issue 6 of Tom King's Wonder Woman.
I've read 1 and 2. 3's on my pile. It's excellent.
Fantastic. Oh, look at that cover for Flash issue 6. Creepy stuff right there. Alien-esque. And Speed Force issue 4. Jarrett Williams, Danielle De Nucolo, telling stories within the Flash universe on page 23.
When is it ever not great to see Evan Doc Shaner's art? Man,
Yeah,
so good.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Absolutely. And issue 8 of Titans.
Consistently excellent. Tom Taylor, man.
Oh, yeah. And whenever you see Amanda Waller shaking hands with Ollie,
That's never going to go well.
never a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that and thought, Oliver, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Check out Green Lantern number 8 on the top of page 25.
Yes.
Note the creative teams there. Jeremy Adams and Ron Mars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Art by
Wow.
Germanico and Dale Eaglesham.
Wow.
Ooh, and
notice-
Kyle. Yep.
Yep.
There
Might be
you
a
go.
backup story there, Ian.
Oh, I'm in, baby, in. It's on the long list of books that I need to catch up on, but it's going to happen a lot quicker. And look at that. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. It's a bad copy, but that Shaner variant with Kyle on it. Oh my God,
Yeah.
beautiful stuff.
Took me a long time to do that.
Shane. Took me a minute. No, well done. Well done, my friend. Shazam number 8, Wade and Goran Suzuka. The captain's side deal with Solomon is proving to be more curse than blessing. Oh boy. There's dinosaurs in the background.
Yep.
Run, Captain Marvel, run! The Captain. Every time I see that, I imagine Captain Morgan, but
Everybody needs a little Captain Shazam!
exactly. Look at that cover for Batman 89 Echoes number 3. So good.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Actually, I like the cover, just one above it for the Blue Beetle. Number 6 with all those little characters in amongst. I just thought it was a neat composition.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep. That's on page 26. And 27 has 89 Echoes number 3, and then Lex Luthor
Gene
front
Hackman.
and center. Yep.
Yeah.
Front and center for the Metal Curtain number 4.
Has anybody read any of the Superman 78? I have not.
I have not.
Okay.
I read the first issue of the first miniseries, and
What did you think of it?
I liked it. I just
Did
haven't.
it have the vibe of the movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the artwork is a little bit better in Batman 89 than it was in the Superman miniseries.
I would agree with that.
Definitely agree. But I also agree that the artwork for this new Superman 78 miniseries is a little better than it was for the first Superman 78 miniseries.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
Look at this cover. Oof.
This is looking fantastic.
Wow.
Here
Oh
on
my.
page 30.
Yeah.
It's The Batman, hyphenated for that 30s pulp feel. The Batman First Knight, number 1. It's written by Dan Jurgens.
Yeah,
The
more
artwork is
importantly,
by
Dan
Mike
Jurgens.
Perkins, and it looks damn sweet. And
Sure
it's
does.
a look back to, well, we'll call it Earth 2 Batman in the very early days of his 1939 Golden Age career.
So I'm assuming Murdy's going to be armed with a gun.
He may well be.
Possibly,
He's
yeah.
certainly wearing the purple gloves. You can tell
Yeah.
that much from the preview art here.
Yeah.
And it's apparently a reimagination of one of Batman's most infamous cases. So he could be breaking spies' necks. He could be shooting people. And anything's on the table here. And it's a fantastic creative team for this 3-issue, what might have been called an Elseworlds miniseries at one point in time. But
Well, take a look at the preview page there, the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at that artwork.
Does
Oh
he
my God.
have a holster?
Oh yeah. You're right.
I
Wow.
don't see one. There's a rope in the back,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see unless that thing on the right-hand side. No, that looks like his abs.
Yeah, they may have foregone a gun this time around.
Yeah.
Yep. But
So I was thinking the same thing. It's very, very possible from that era.
Did I hear correctly that the Elseworlds banner is returning to DC Comics? I mean, I know it is in movies, but I think there may also be a couple series that are going to have the Elseworlds
It's a
banner
great.
on them.
logo.
Oh,
Like, I don't know why
yeah.
you wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I don't know why it would be a cause for concern from DC.
Absolutely. Yep. Well,
If they were using it, this would be the ideal opportunity. But
Yeah.
yeah, I am right. At New York Comic Con, they announced the return of Elseworlds in 2024.
Hmm.
So they're starting it out with a new Gotham by Gaslight, titled
Okay.
Gotham by Gaslight: The Kryptonian Age, Batman the Barbarian, Green Lantern Dark, and then Dark Knights of Steel and DC versus Vampires.
Dark Knights of Steel is outstanding.
Yep.
Really good. Still waiting for the second trade on that.
So slowly but surely, they're reintroducing the concept. Oh my God, that's a creepy ass cover for Batman City of Madness #3 on page 30.
Yeah, that is.
Cthulhu.
Yep.
I was thinking Ood.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, right. He's not a red-eyed Ood, though.
What's that?
He's not a red-eyed Ood.
No. And he's
No.
not holding his brain in his hand.
I was gonna say it reminded me a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Yep. Page 32 for that. And then John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America #2, Cy Spurrier, Aaron Campbell.
Birds pleased.
Page 33. When it looks like it's this type of story, he's Constantine, not Constantine. Like, plain and simple.
I'm sure it's right. It just doesn't sound right.
I know.
It's the way Alan Moore meant for the name to be pronounced. So
Yeah. And it looks like we got Swamp Thing involved here too. So, yep. Old school, to say the least.
Yeah, where Hellblazer first appeared.
Mm-hmm. Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker on page 34. Further of Sean Murphy's Batman White Knight stories. And Tales of the Titan collected as well on page 35. Tales of the Titans, that is. Page 36. Spirit World. Written by Alyssa Wong with art and cover by Hanning. Spirit World follows the adventures of Xantha Zhu, a non-binary Chinese hero with the ability to travel between the land of the living and that of the spirit world, the realm of the dead. Possesses the ability to burn items folded from ceremonial joss paper and turn them into real objects. They make anything they can fold, but their weapon of choice, a magical broadsword, because who doesn't love a big sword when you can choose to wield a big sword? This sounds like a lot of fun. On page 36. Spirit World. And then Greg Pak's City Boy and Ram V's The Vigil, both collected on page 37. Oh, yeah. Page 38, a classic.
Absolute All-Star Superman.
See, I think I have a trade of that.
I have the two trades of it. Now, Ian, is this the basis of the Superman movie? Am I correct in saying that?
Somewhat.
The
Or is
base,
that a rumor?
well, in personality.
Okay.
But he's also said he's drawing from Superman for All Seasons. He's drawing from multiple sources, but this will not be the story of the Superman.
But so it sounds like we're gonna. Then I'm sure this will please Murd, a more optimistic and hopeful Superman. Then,
to say the least.
I hope so. Jeez.
Yeah. To say the
Jane,
least. That's what
here it
they're
is for you.
Oh.
JLA Ape.
I just would love to know their decision making. Like, are people clamoring for this?
Yes.
Is it hard to find?
Do you want to know why, Shane? It's plain and simple, really. You know.
Don't tell me they're making a movie of it. I'll
No,
cry.
no. If there's apes on the cover, it sells.
I know,
it's
but
just economics, Shane.
come on. Jeez, this was so bad.
I've never actually read this story. I must
We
say.
used to have I know at Golden Eagle there was an advertising poster that John or Alex got a hold of, two of our friends, and we would pass it around as joke birthday and Christmas gifts to each other to see who got stuck with it the longest.
I'm 99% certain that Bulletproof Comics in Brooklyn used to give out free copies of JL Ape in their grad bag because they just wanted them gone.
Ooh, that's just brutal.
Oh man,
the late great Keith Giffen, Lobo.
Yep,
Big Fragging Compendium, Volume 1.
fantastic.
And hey, listeners, if you like JL Ape, that's fine. Just Post on Facebook or something and convince me. I'd love to love it, but I don't think so.
Hold on. I just have to say this real quick, just for Shane's sake. 1,256 pages.
Oh, that's just wrong, too. I mean, you can exercise with that thing.
I didn't realize there was that much JLA8 material out there.
No, that's Lobo. That's Lobo.
Oh, that's Lobo. Okay.
Yeah, that's Lobo. Yeah. No, the JLA8 is just 352 pages.
2 pages.
Yeah. But yeah, 1,256 pages of Lobo content in that big fragging compendium.
I mean, as soon as you open up, the spine breaks.
Hopefully they made it with very good glue.
I guess.
Page 39.
There you go, Ian. That's something for you here.
Yeah, the Joshua Williamson Flash stuff, which was there hasn't been a bad Flash book out of DC in years now, and Joshua Williamson was the beginning of that. He was one of the first writers that actually made me give a crap about Barry Allen, because I've always been a Wally guy, and Josh Williamson I think did a really terrific job with the book when he was on it, and his Barry focused stories were really terrific at the beginning of DC Rebirth, and this is an omnibus collecting the first birth of those on page 41. Arkham Asylum, baby. Yes, because we were all asking for this. Who's a good boy? Jester is. Oh man. Terrific. Page 42. Barking good time. And then Scooby-Doo Mysteries, number 2.
I get every issue of any Batman Scooby comic that's out there.
Yeah,
Solomon Grundy.
Thing, Shane. Yep.
Still only $2.99.
Yeah, you can't beat it with discount. It's what, like $1.79 or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome. The long-running Scooby-Doo, where are you? Issue 126.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all on page 44 there, and then we get to the very much multi-solicitations. The Batman Superman World's Finest Volume 1 is being reissued, I believe, because there's at least a version of that out there in one form or another already. But this is Volume 1 back at the front again. And Birds of Prey Progeny by Gail Simone. I'm very happy to see back in print. This collects Birds of Prey issues 92 to 103 on page 45. Gail Simone's Birds of Prey run is legendary.
Yeah, loved her run on that. It's just fabulous.
Absolutely.
These are exactly the issues I'm currently reading from that run.
Fantastic. I Am Batman Volume 2, Welcome to New York by John Ridley on page 46. That was John Ridley's Batman saga that I believe recently came to a close. Collects issues 6 through 10 of that.
Hey, Shane. If you didn't
I know.
The JLA is apes, how about the JLA is dinosaurs?
We got the King Kong and Godzilla JLA, and then we got the ape stuff. Now we got the
But you see, Shane, you see, dinosaurs sell. So.
I guess. I'll give you that if it's the Disney's 90s show with Not the Mama and all that. I love that show.
I'd be all down for that.
Oh, I would too.
Oh, this Jurassic League thing was co-written by Daniel Warren Johnson.
There you go.
I know. No.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong, baby. Can't go wrong.
What about Disillusion, Shane is?
No. I'm sorry. I missed the JLA book. It's been a long while now.
Yep. And I got to catch up on this Tim Drake Robin series. This is volume 2 of that, which is solicited here as well as we end the DC catalog. All right, back over to previews. Not a lot here out of Aftershock still. Whole bunch of trade paperbacks, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over that real quick because still no new stuff out of Aftershock for the most part. And oh my God, that G.I. Joe old school.
Cobra Enemy.
So good.
New swivel arm battle grip.
They just came out with a new version of that for the came with the Hiss tank, 6-inch Cobra Commander with the infamous Mickey Mouse misprint on it.
further solicitation of the Conan O'Brien. I was going to do that eventually. I saw it happening. I'm
sure Conan O'Brien would be pleased.
Conan O'Brien presents Conan the Barbarian Free Comic Book Day edition. Red hair and all. No, just
big, tall red hair.
Tall red hair. He needs a friend, just like Conan O'Brien does. But yeah,
what a great podcast
edition, so good of Conan the Barbarian, available for you on 162 as well,
featuring his great adversary Fulsa Doom.
Yep, and a 15th Doctor story written by Dan Waters, also a Free Comic Book Day edition on page 163.
Ooh, Savage Sword of Conan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
New Conan epic from John Arcudi and Max von Fafner, Solomon Kane. Jim Zub does a prose story, which is very in keeping with Conan's pulp origins, and a cover by Joe Jusko.
Ooh.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. 164 for that. All right, anything else in Titan before we head over to Marvel?
Rebel Moon, isn't that the thing that's coming on Netflix that was
the Zack Snyder thing?
Zack Snyder's Star Wars
That's
thing?
right, Shane.
Reviews no bueno, but I mean your mileage may vary, but I went and read a couple of snippets of reviews, and if you like Zack Snyder, I'm sure you're gonna like it. If you don't like Zack Snyder, then I'm sure you're not gonna like it. That's that's the scope of it. Well, you know what? Let me stop here real quick. 3 Exorcism Siblings, Volume 1. A young warrior must stand alone to protect his brothers from the demonic Tengu. In a lonely mountain home, a young warrior tends to his family shrine, all while warding off evil spirits intent on feasting upon humans. Though one cannot fight monsters without coming to understand them, he must tread carefully when attempting to wield their power. Looks like a fascinating manga out of Titan here on page 174. Gory as heck, but beautifully rendered gore at that. All right, and onward we go to Marvel. Got a lot to talk about this month. Let's start with my usual harumph at the X-Men cover. It's actually Amazing Spider-Man issue 43. No, I will not stop mentioning that every single time that it shows up, because come on, Disney, come on.
It just makes no sense. Put it on an X-Men book.
Yes, really.
Thank you.
It's cool. It's cute. It's clever, but keep it off of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, the humanity. Or the mutantdom in this case.
Yes. Instead, let's talk Ultimate Black Panther, a very new take on the Black Panther mythos by Brian Hill with artwork by the amazing Stefano Caselli. Yes. In the wake of Ultimate Invasion, Khonshu and Ra, the force known together as Moon Knight, are seeking to expand their brutal control of the continent of Africa. In response, the lone bulwark against them, the isolated nation of Wakanda, will send forth its champion, its king, the Black Panther. Yeah.
Released issue 1.
Yep. I like the concept of the costume too. It's very different, but still feels like Black Panther.
Yep.
Good stuff.
The only thing I don't like about that costume, the way it looks, is the bulkiness of the neck. The necklace kind of thing around him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's attached, but it looks like it would be a chain of some kind.
It may look a little bit different inside the comic, because I think
maybe
that's a different artist than Stefano Caselli drawing it right there.
Yeah.
And then Ultimate Spider-Man number 2. Yep, on page 4. Looking forward to reading the first of this. Again, it's a very different take on Spider-Man than we've ever gotten. As Spider-Man faces his first supervillain as a grown man. And it's New York City's welcoming its newest hero, the Green Goblin. That's never a good thing. When you hear those words, that is never a good thing.
Well, we'll see.
Yep. Meanwhile, on page 6, What If Venom number 1... Jeremy Holt and Jesus Hervas Years ago, in a familiar church town, the Venom symbiote was spurned by Peter Parker and found a willing host in the vengeful and wrathful Eddie Brock. Or at least that's the story you know. What happens if we get Sorcerer Supreme, or Loki,
Or Wolverine,
or Moon Knight Venom? We'll find out here. Jeremy Holt's in the writing chores, so it could be interesting stuff. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that Alex Ross cover.
Yep.
Zdarsky's Avengers Twilight continues.
Report on that as well.
Yep. It's on page 9 and 10. Issue 3 solicited on page 10. And talk about the most 90s version of Spider-Man. In Edge of Spider-Verse #1 on page 11. Let's take all the belts that Cyclops ever wore and put them on a variant of Spider-Man. This is Weapon 8, if I remember correctly.
Because a spider has 8 legs. You see.
Indeed. Yep. In their universe, when Weapon X escapes from his facility, they call on their greatest previous success to get him back. This also will have the return of Spider-Bite, who was focused on in the Across the Spider-Verse movie, returning to this as well. So Jackson Lanzig, Colin Kelly, and Neela Magruder available on as the writers on page 11, with art by Travel Foreman and Eric Gapster.
That's probably what happens when the armatures get condensed back into their costume. They make the belts that Cyclops wore in the 90s.
Sure. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Looks like they dipped into Maverick's junk drawer as well.
Yes, good point.
Hey, Jim Lee called. He wants his design sense back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ooh. Fall of the House of X #2 of 5, and Lorna has gone full Magneto on page 12. I do not want to be in Polaris's path right now.
No.
And then The Last Hope Outside of Reality on page 13 as Rise of the Powers of X, issue 2 by Kieran Gillen and R.B. Silva is solicited on that as well. The end of the Krakoa Age continues in this epic tale split in 2. Vengeance of the Moon Knight on the next page, page 14. Jed McKay is continuing his Khonshu versus Khonshu story. Heh.
Night Thrasher.
Yes. Wow. It's time to thrash the night. I'm sure. That's a saying people say. Who hasn't thrashed a night a couple of times, like, oh boy. Jay Holtman writing this, Nelson Daniel on the artwork chores, 4-issue miniseries. Dwayne Taylor is back in New York City and back as Night Thrasher. He's thrust back in. Just when they thought he was out, they pull him back in. Could be interesting. This is the one I'm looking forward to, though. Cody Ziegler giving us a Spider-Punk miniseries with Justin Mason on the artwork chores. Yeah, I'm down for that. Page 17. Cody Ziegler is written for comics and TV for Marvel and otherwise, and Rick and Morty for that matter. And I think he has the perfect voice for Spider-Punk. This 4-issue mini. And here's
Orlando doing Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yep, this is the follow-up to the Scarlet Witch series that was running. So we knew this was coming, and this is the 4-issue mini. That's hopefully going to launch into a new Scarlet Witch series after this. But 4-issue mini series, Steve Orlando, Lorenzo Tometa on the artwork chores. Great cover there by Luciano Vecchio.
60 years of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yep.
Looks like it's going to reopen the issue of the connection between Magneto and these two characters. hopefully reestablish some paternity. Just fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to see the Wizard actually wielding supernatural powers this time. Several years after his fellow Fantastic Four foe Doom embraced sorcery for a time, it looks like the Wizard's going to do the same thing. I'm very interested in how that's going to play out.
Absolutely. Yep. Page 18 for that. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this.
I cannot wait for this next offering.
Wow.
Wolverine Madripoor Nights, written by Chris Claremont.
Yeah,
Yep.
that looks good.
Edgar Salazar art, covered by Philip Tan. The interiors look tremendous.
They do. Yeah.
It's the whole Wolverine, Cap, Black Widow. So this is taking place in the time frame of the classic X-Men 268, which was a pre-World War II adventure involving the Nazis, the Hand. Oh, this is I'm really looking forward to this. Wow.
Yeah. Looks great.
There's Logan in his Humphrey Bogart Casablanca outfit.
Yeah.
Like this is because Madripoor is the Casablanca of the Marvel Universe. So.
And he's got the patch because he's running around his patch.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Page 20 for that solicitation there. Excellent.
Talk about the 90s with that Wolverine Sabretooth.
Yeah, right.
God. Oh my God.
Well,
even
that's bringing them back to their mercenary days, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even Hasbro just released a couple 2-packs of celebrating Wolverine's 50-year anniversary.
That's
Nice.
right. It is 50 years. Wow.
Yep. Sabretooth War Part 3 and Sabretooth War Part 4 on 22 and 23 there. 50 years. Yep, exactly. Dead X-Men. I'm gonna read this miniseries as well when it comes out. As it's essentially all the X-Men that we believed were dead and not coming back after the latest Hellfire Gala, when in reality they were needed for a very important mission.
Are those all Ultrons?
Those are all Ultrons, yes.
Okay.
The impossible team on an impossible quest, and you're putting Dazzler and Jubilee on the same team. That's all I need right there. So this is Steve Fox and Peter Nguyen, along with Bernard Chang and Guillermo Sana on the art chores for this one. Dead X-Men issue 2 on page 24. 25 continues the resurrection of Magneto, issue 2.
Yeah, we'll go back. Yeah, right there.
Yes, this is what I was bringing up on our cornucopia of comics conversation. That this is essentially the Beast, but the one that we like. So, will this one stick around? Will the other one go bye-bye? Who knows? But this is X-Force issue 49 here, from a simpler time, and they're bringing him in to deal with the current situation. Page 26.
Wonder Man and the Beast.
Yep. And then it appears.
And again, I recommend from the 90s, the Avengers 2 Wonder Man and Beast story that was reprinted not too long ago in a larger comic. Excellent.
Oh, absolutely. I love that both Cable and Young Nate are in this Cable miniseries by Fabian Nicieza. But it's Fabian Nicieza writing Cable, so I'm in.
Yeah.
If I wasn't before the fact that classic Marvel villain the Grey Gargoyle is going to be
oh yes, Mert.
That sealed the deal for me.
Absolutely. Yep.
For me, I couldn't believe seeing Nimrod on this cover.
Yep.
Yeah. Nimrod features heavily in current X-Men lore.
Wow.
With Hickman's stuff and otherwise. So, yep. He's going to be very important in what's going on page 27. Invincible Iron Man. Wow. Just wow. James Rhodes was framed and arrested on an intel gathering mission that unearthed a terrible truth. Orcus isn't planning to stop with mutants. They have every hero on Earth in their sights. But when you've got to fight machines, it pays to have a war machine of your own. Page 28.
It was always a damn cool design.
Yep.
Oh, you better believe it. Yep. Definitely. This Gods miniseries, it exists. But they touted it as if it was going to be this, game-changing thing, and Hickman's going on with it. And I really haven't heard a lot about it. I'll have to catch myself up. I read the first issue and enjoyed it enough. I just don't know if this is just like allowing Hickman to do his side thing, if it's going to matter in the Marvel Universe at all. But this is the 5th issue on page 29. Gang War Luke Cage concludes, along with Deadly Hands of
Great cover on Deadly Hands of Kung Fu #3. Wow.
Oh,
David Aja. Beautiful cover.
Oh, yeah. Page 30 for that.
And the next cover for that is gorgeous.
Yep, great cover for Amazing Spider-Man #43. Much better than its X-Men #1 cover. Anyway.
I love the bitterness.
Yeah. It's just so stupid.
And it's the last issue of Gang. All right, fine, whatever.
I mean, even you could even take this cover and put Disney characters in it, it would make more sense.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Replace the size with popsicles or something.
Yeah,
Disney
this makes no sense.
Mickey popsicles, but yeah, the final fight of Gang War starts here on page 31, and I cannot wait to see how that's going to turn out. Wow. Talk about Jessica Drew action going on there, too. Yeah. The 97 variant by Todd Nauck.
Which that's an awesome cover.
Great Madame Max cover. Wow.
Beautiful. Yep. Visage of Spider-Man visible in it. Oh, yeah. Page 33. And the conclusion of the fight between Hobgoblin and Miles Morales in issue 16 of Miles Morales Spider-Man on page 34. And 35, for that matter. Jed MacKay continues his Avengers run. Page 35. And issue 6 of Captain America as well on page 37.
Which has been wonderful.
Yeah. Captain America versus the Emissary. Yeah, fight to the death. I don't think Captain America's dying.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Sure. Look at that sensational She-Hulk cover there on page 38. She-Hulk, Hellcat, and Captain Marvel were supposed to have a nice night out for at Hellcat's favorite bar, but it's the Marvel Universe, and in the Marvel Universe, we can't have nice things. Beautiful.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Romita Jr. always drew a mean Daredevil.
He really has. Page 39, he definitely does it again there.
And is Daredevil's costume darker these days with just a hint of red to it, like what's on the cover?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's the route that they've gone. It was like that at least a little bit during Zdarsky's run, and I think they've gone back to that a little bit. The Women of Marvel, featuring Gail Simone and others.
Oh,
beautiful one shot to have. Got a whole bunch of different stories focused on different women in the Marvel Universe, including Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, Psylocke involved in there, Scarlet Witch, Storm. Check that one out.
Grey.
Yep, Jean Grey. Check it out when it's available on page 40.
Is that Jean Grey or Medusa?
I think that might be.
It's a good point, Mert. I think you're right. It is Medusa. I apologize. Yeah, it is Medusa.
Good call. Yeah. Yep. Not used to seeing Medusa with the mask. Mm-hmm. Throws it off. Fantastic Four. Oh, man.
This cover's tremendous.
Oh, my God. Man.
When I saw this, I'm like, is it something special? I'm like, no, it's just the regular issue. What the heck? Yep. It's gorgeous.
Just Alex Ross covers.
Yeah, but they found a dead man in a Fantastic Four costume, so that's not looking good.
And an archaeological dig.
Yep.
That's just
also in this issue, an anniversary date for Reed and Sue. So Sue gets both inarguable evidence of her own death and some romance. Yeah.
So this is a fascinating premise. She must accept the fantastic. Dr. Susan Storm is going to die deep in Earth's prehistory.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is fascinating. Dr. Susan Storm, by the way. That's a new development. Page 42. Giant Size Fantastic Four #1, Fabian Nicieza writing Fantastic Four. Yes, please.
Imperious Rex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Namor involved. Oh, yeah. And count this as one of the last times you'll see Brian Hitch's artwork for a while on a DC or a Marvel property. As once he's done with his current stuff, he's not leaving anything, but once he's done with his current stuff, Brian Hitch said that he's going entirely independent, that he's going to be working specifically on stuff that he owns.
Wow.
So,
More power to him.
yep. Here's to whatever comes next for him. Spider-Boy will have some Miles Morales involved on page 45. And Carnage versus Anti-Venom on page 46. How many Venoms can you introduce? We're still figuring it out.
17.
Jigsaw. It's actually 19. I just added 2 more. Jigsaw being introduced into this new Punisher series by David Paposi with art by the one and only Dave Wachter.
Great Dave Wachter, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man. Somehow I don't think that's actually really Ben, but that would be interesting to say the least on page 49.
Yeah.
All right, scrolling down a bit further here. Black Panther issue 9, T'Challa's allies kidnapped and his city under siege. Eve Ewing continuing her run on the series.
Read the first few issues. It's quite good.
Excellent. Cantwell's Thanos series.
I have the first issue of this. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, this is issue 3 of 4 on page 54. Kelly and Lanzig's Guardians of the Galaxy gets an annual on page 55 with Kev Walker on the artwork.
Annuals.
Yep. It's going to be a Groot story. Those of you who missed this the first time around, Wheezy on writing.
That is an awesome cover.
On artwork. Beautiful cover for the return of Power Pack Into the Storm. This is issue 2 of 5 on page 56.
I hope somebody didn't slip these kids LSD. They're underage.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I would hope not.
They got to learn sometime, you know? Oh, and again.
What a great Doctor Strange cover.
So good. He's out for walkies. That's all.
I think the dog's walking him.
Yep. Page 57.
Look at these facsimiles. Oh,
Yeah.
shame.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun.
2 classics. Amazing Spider-Man 253, the first appearance of the Rose.
Mm-hmm.
The crime boss. And then, of course, we just mentioned this X-Men 268. So if you want to get into this, the ground floor of the coming Claremont Wolverine series, this is the story that inspired it. It's a classic.
And this was back when Uncanny X-Men was twice a month, as you can tell by the late September on the cover.
And it was the only X-Men title being published.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was just before X-Men #1 came out then, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Let's see.
Jim
I think so.
Lee.
Yeah, there was X Factor at the time and New Mutants, obviously.
Yes.
But this was the only one with the name X-Men on the title.
Besides classic X-Men, which was wonderful too.
What,
No,
2
so-
issues after Gambit's first appearance? Is that right?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
it was
Is that 266? was
6, I think
Gambit's?
so. And we have a facsimile of Marvel Super Secret Wars #2.
They're gonna be publishing all 12 issues of this in
Oh,
fact.
that's great.
On the looks of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I remember last month issue 1 was solicited, so yeah. Excellent. Page 60 and 61, by the way, for those facsimiles. And Ed Brisson begins a Predator miniseries here with Francesco Mana on artwork chores for any of you Predator fans on page 62.
I have a bone to pick. If you could pause and Beware the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to this. I could not find issue 1 anywhere when I tried to order it on DCB service last month. Maybe that's my mistake.
Huh.
But I typed in all these different variations of the title. Nothing came up.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if this is the typical Marvel catalog is just wacky and things are not placed properly for you to find them.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
But I just couldn't find this book. And maybe someone on the forums, the Facebook page can help me out, but couldn't find it.
it's quite possible the first issue was canceled and is going to be resolicited, which then in turn would mean this one would follow suit.
Or maybe it
point.
was in an earlier catalog in terms of its final order cutoff, and I just missed it.
Yeah.
Yep, that could be.
I'll probably just buy it on my LCS then, number one. But looking forward to this immensely.
But I understand what you mean. It drives me crazy when I can't find something, even when I'm typing in the literal title that I see.
Which I did, yeah.
You know, it was funny too, because like I just went to DCBS's website and I put in Planet of the Apes. I'm like, oh, there it is. There's issue one. Like, no, that's the Planet of the Apes series with Dave Walker and Dave Wachter. That is not under Marvel. That was an older Planet of the Apes series, which is well worth checking out, but not the one that you're looking for. Yep. Well, that issue, by the way, was available on page 66, and yes. Thrawn indeed. Issue 2 of that on page 68. Thrawn Alliances.
What a writing team. Zahn, who created the character, and Jody Hauser.
Yeah. Oh,
and then Andre DeVito and Pat Olive on art.
I might have to get that if Zahn's writing it. Oh, God.
Great team.
I love his books.
They're starting a Mace Windu miniseries here on page 69.
Hopefully it tells you how he survives.
Could be. This is in the years before the Clone Wars, though. So this
doesn't mean issue 4 won't end with him surviving the fall.
It is possible. He is Sam
Jackson.
Jackson.
Launched halfway across the city.
He's a Jedi. He could land okay.
Sam Jackson's very good at surviving things, unless it's Deep Blue Sea, the shark. That's the only time he's ever really
it's a funny moment.
Yep.
We will survive. Such a bad movie.
Oh my God. All right, heading down to the trades.
Okay, let's pause for a minute. I'm really excited for this because I've only read the first couple of the Zdarsky where I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for the omnibus. Here it is.
Yeah. Yep. And
definitely ordering this.
This is a whole bunch of stuff. This is all 30 issues of Daredevil, along with Daredevil Annual #1 that Zdarsky put out.
Only $100 before discount.
Yeah, which means with discount, probably about 50, which is not bad at all for that many issues of a series.
Only 696 pages, so that might be doable. That might be manageable.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Page 76 and 77 for that solicit there. And on page 78, this is still one of my favorite series. It's now years ago at this point, back in 2010, but Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender, with Jerome Pena and Issad Ribic, along with Raphael Albuquerque, Mark Brooks, and others on the art chores. This was a fantastic take on the X-Force from back in the day. And if you haven't read it, the entire saga of what Archangel goes through in this is absolutely worth the price of admission. So terrific series. And this has all 35 issues of Uncanny X-Force, plus issues 5.1 and 19.1, and material from Wolverine Road to Hell, Wolverine Dangerous Games, Deadpool 100, and All New Wolverine Saga. This is 928 pages for $125, which, again, post-discount is not too shabby.
Yeah.
For an omnibus hardcover. So do check that out.
Here you go, Chris.
Yep.
Up.
Here's your gallery edition, page 79.
I love gallery editions.
Yep.
I don't think I ever read the full Captain America White story.
I don't think I did either. Because there was
a massive delay right between issue 0
and then they
the rest of it.
re-released the first one, and I don't know that I ever even got the rest of the issues.
It wasn't even like massive by a couple months. It was massive by a couple years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember they released that issue 0.
Vividly, yep. I remember that.
And then issue 1 didn't come out, I think, for another 5 years after that, if I remember correctly.
Well, the late, great Tim Sale. So
yeah.
Definitely ordering this.
Yep.
I love gallery editions. Oh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I may have to just read it, period, because now that Tim Sale's no longer with us, any Tim Sale material is well worth checking out. So it was originally published in July 2008. It did not conclude until September 2015.
Wow.
Wow. I never read it. Okay. I just read Zero. All right.
Yep. That's on page 79 for that. And the House of M omnibus on page 80 for anybody who hasn't read that before and may want to check it out. All right, let's get down here to She-Hulk, Volume 4. Gen C. Page 86.
What a delight that series is.
Oh, yeah.
Sheer delight.
Absolutely. And a Mighty Marvel team-up on page 88. Follow your favorite friendly neighborhood Spider-Man as he teams up with the most unlikely of heroes to save the day. A humorous and action-packed graphic novel series by Mike Mayhack. Spider-Man Animals Assemble and Spider-Man Quantum Quest. Kid-friendly books available on page 88 for you to check out. And if your kid is into Spider-Man, it's very much going to be something that you may want to do that with. Then page 91 has the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback.
Which you enjoyed thoroughly, correct?
Indeed, yep.
Yeah.
And then, for something completely different, Rob Liefeld, Deadpool, Batter Blood. There's feet on the cover.
I knew you were going to make a comment. I feel so good now that consistency. In a universe gone mad, there's Levinstein.
It still looks like the feet are dislocated from the legs, but it's something. Page 92 for that fun right there. All right, let's get down to the usual. You know what? Here we are, page 102.
Oh, I love this series. Love this series.
Yeah, that was a great series.
Spider-Girl Modern Era Epic Collection Legacy. This collects her first appearance in What If 105, Spider-Girl 1 through 15, Spider-Girl 1/2, which was a Wizard issue, and Annual 1999. All available, 456 pages for only $45. So worth the time.
Yeah, if you're a lover of like Silver Age Spider-Man, Peter Parker as a teenager, you'll love the spirit of this series.
Oh yeah. And so for anybody who started in the 90s, for how troubling the 90s era of Spider-Man was,
this was an oasis.
This was an oasis, and it's something that remembered that it happened. And that's what I appreciate the most about it. So yeah, the whole M2 universe is terrific. And DeFalco friends and Olive put together some brilliant storytelling here on page 102.
I have a cherished page from the series where they're doing a flashback, and it's the origin of the Green Goblin. So nice. Beautiful.
I had that What If issue for years and ended up selling it on eBay when it was going for a mint for a while.
It went for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at us. There, a new printing of the first 23 issues of X-Men in epic collection form.
Now, Ian, do you feel better that there's no Disney characters on the cover of this book?
Super happy.
Yes.
Although, if they were going to do it, this would have been the place to do it. But alas, that's not what they chose. Page 104 for those first 23 issues of Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Jack Kirby. You can't get better than that.
And below that, great Daredevil Bronze Age stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Concrete Jungle collects Daredevil 133 to 154, Annual number 4, a Ghost Rider issue, number 20, and Marvel Premiere 39 through 40 and 43.
These stories are important because you get early Bullseye appearances.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first issue they said? I'm sorry, Ian.
First issue they said is 133.
Oh, so I think Bullseye's first appearance is in there. If I remember correctly, and also great stuff with the Purple Man.
The Purple Man. Character that became way more relevant in Marvel history once they introduced Alias as a concept, and oh boy.
Yeah. Yep.
It was issue 131 where Bullseye was first appeared. So
okay, so it's right before this. So he has other appearances in the subsequent issues.
Yep.
Thank you, Ian.
Bullseye.
Yep. All right, and I think that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's touch on this. So just because Wonder Man is going to be back in the public eye with that X-Men issue and possibly in other ways, Wonder Man: The Saga of Simon Williams. This collects a whole bunch of his appearances over the years. Avengers number 9, 152 to 153, Wonder Man number 1 from 1986, Tales of the Marvels, Wonder Years. What would you do? Issues 1 through 2.
There's the aforementioned Avengers 2.
Yep, Avengers 2, Wonder Man and the Beast, 1 through 3, Wonder Man 1 through 5 from 2006, which I remember very fondly, and material from Avengers Annual number 6. So a whole bunch of creators involved with this: Peter David, Stan Lee, Jerry Conway, Steve Englehart. If you want to learn more about Wonder Man, this is a great way to do so.
I remember Tales of the Marvels Wonder Man being a good story as well.
Mm-hmm. And that is it from Marvel.
Gentlemen, I have to peel back the curtain for a minute here for you and the audience. Unfortunately, my dog, I just found out, ate a tin of Christmas cookies.
Oh my God!
So I have to go deal with that.
Jeez.
So,
oh boy.
A lengthy walk and possibly a trip to the vet is now in order.
Yeah.
Hey, were they chocolate?
Some were, some weren't. She seems kind of okay, but I apologize. I have to leave at this so early. But,
No. Please, by all means, that's well worth dealing with.
End up vomiting in our bed and God knows what else. So
Yeah. Good
just,
luck.
just for the audience, that's what's going on in the Everly household right now.
Oh boy. Well, Godspeed, Chris.
Good luck.
But Merry Christmas, brothers.
Yes.
Merry
May the
Christmas.
rest of the holiday be better than this.
She should be fine, but I got to take her out. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Good night, my friends. Take care.
Good night.
Right.
All right. Well, and now for something completely different. Let's get back to the previews here. Start off with a Blaze, and this is a Netflix series that's premiering on page 182, and this is the art of the anime called Tress. So this is a anime series that's going to be on there. They have the full art book available on page 180, which is pretty cool if you want to go ahead and check that out. And then a little bit further on, for any of you Minecraft fans out there, the Minecraft-inspired adventures of Frigiel and Fluffy contains volumes 1 through 5 of Now the Unofficial Story Can Be Told on page 187. It's just official enough to be released by a Blaze, but also kind of unofficial for any of you Minecraft fans out there. All right, move it a little bit further along here. Now, Frank Miller presents Ronin Book 2. This is part 6 in a 6-part series. So this is going to conclude the Ronin story once more on page 194. So if you were looking for a follow-up, this is Frank Miller doing that. He created and scripted, and pencils are by him with inks by Daniel Henriquez. So full Frank Miller here on page 194. Further along into the books, and we are in the rest of the, and onward we go to Dark Horse to start their adventure off. Let's focus on Ram V for a minute on page 219 and Dawn Runner. A century ago, a portal opened over Central America, and the Tetsa that came through changed our world. Now the world bends all its efforts to making the Iron Kings, great mechs that must battle the Tetsa for humanity's continued survival in gladiatorial combat. Interesting concept indeed.
Yep, it's Pacific Rim transplanted to the Gulf of Mexico from the looks of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Murd. Yep. And Ram V has that for us here in Dawn Runner, a new concept by him with artwork by Evan Kagel on page 219. Here's something worth checking out.
Yep, page 220. You got some new Ghostbusters content coming from Dark Horse. Written by Greg Pak and David M. Boer, with art by Blue Delaquanti. It's called Ghostbusters Back in Town #1, and it's set a year and a half after the events of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I'm really starting to see a lot of advertising for the new Ghostbusters movie, and this is part of that.
This is filling the gap in between the movies, essentially. So this is going to be well worth checking out if you want that in between material. And it's Greg Pak, so you know it's going to be good stuff. Yeah, happy to see him working on this on page 220. Ghostbusters back in town.
And right below it, we've got a new mini-series featuring Eric Powell's The Goon. It's called The Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead, #1. Celebrating 25 years of spooky, silly, brawling action. Hard to put The Goon into just a few words, but...
Yeah. And if you want to go really far back in time to November 30th, 2005...
Yeah.
Book of the Month Club, The Goon Volume 1 was done way, way, way back then. So if you want to see old school CGS Book of the Month action, that is what The Goon Volume 1 is for. And I remember picking that up from Bulletproof because you fellas were reviewing it, and it got me into The Goon. So
yeah, it's like Van Helsing meets Joe Palooka meets Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Meets a couple of other things.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep. And that is available on page 220. Directly underneath that, Tom King brings us Helen of Windhorn with Bilquis Everly on the artwork chores. It's the Conan the Barbarian meets Wizard of Oz. That's a pairing. Yep. Following the death of her late father, C.K. Cole, the esteemed pulp writer and creator of the popular warrior character Othan, Helen Cole was called back to her grandfather's enormous and illustrious estate, Windhorn House. Scarred by Cole's untimely passing and lost in a new strange world, Helen wreaks drunken havoc upon her arrival. However, her chaotic ways begin to soften as she discovers a lifetime of secrets hiding within the myriad rooms and hallways of the expansive manor. Very, very cool premise there by Tom King. And I am going to be checking that one out for sure on page 220. And then issue 2 of If You Find This, I'm Already Dead on the very next page, 221. Got a hardcover edition of Blacking Out by Chip Mosher on page 223. Worth checking out. And on that same page, Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 6, for any of you who've been paying attention to that. And a whole bunch of EC archives available. Tales from the Crypt Volume 3 and Weird Fantasy Volume 3. All on page 223. And Volume 3 of the World of Black Hammer Omnibuses is solicited on page 226 as well. Whole bunch of Black Hammer action for you.
There, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
The next chapter in the Turtles' Last Ronin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 228 has that. Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz on the storytelling. Escorza Brothers and Ben Bishop on the artwork chores. And yes, indeed, it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, the official sequel to The Last Ronin on 228. Yeah, I haven't checked out the first of the Ronin stories yet, but it is on my long list of things to eventually get to.
I have the hardcover. Ben actually read it before me, and he loved it. And then for his birthday, I got him the prequel that came out.
Nice.
He'll get this week, and then I'm going to start. I probably won't get these issues, but I'm looking forward to being traded then.
Excellent.
All right. Happy birthday, Ben.
Yeah. 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Speaking of Godzilla, on page 233, Godzilla, Best of Destroyer. Gotta love that name. Coming stronger as the already powerful juveniles come together and create a monster of devastation. Destroyer. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to pronounce that properly, but Destroyer.
Destroyer.
There you go. That's better. Got to get that right Japanese accent in there. And then on that same page, Godzilla rivals Mothra versus Mogera. All on 233 for you. IDW as a bit of a better solicitation layout this month, and a bigger one for that matter.
Yeah.
Yep. Props to them for getting that straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of cover not shown graphics that we're not seeing this time.
Yes, indeed. By the way, 238, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, issue 1, written by Eric Burnham, with art by Mightiest Santaloco. This is all about Oroku Karai, who spent her life in the shadows of the lesser man, first her father, then her grandfather Orokusaki, the so-called Shredder. But no more. Now the Foot Clan is hers to command, and she has grand designs on seeing her clan reach its full potential. Interesting story being told there on page 238. Onward we go to Abrams comic art. Nate Powell putting out a new one called Fall Through. At first glance, Diamond Mine seems to have emerged in 1979 as Arkansas's first punk band. Instead, the quartet is revealed to be interdimensional travelers from 1994, guided, largely against their will, by vocalist Diana's powerful spell embedded into their song Fall Through. You got me. You got punk rock, you got time travel, you got interdimensional travel thrown in there for good measure. This sounds amazing.
You got magical musical mind control.
Yep. All in on this one by Nate Powell. Fall Through, graphic novel, available for you on page 239. That is happening. Then on that same page, Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda bring us The Night Ears Volume 1. She Eats at Night. This is a previews exclusive softcover. Make that perfectly clear. This is previews exclusive, which means it might not show up in bookstores. So you're probably gonna have to order it if you actually really want it. But yeah, this is a story here about Chinese American twins Millie and Billy, who are having a tough time. On top of their multiple failures in their personal and professional lives, they're struggling to keep their restaurant afloat. Luckily, their parents, Ippo and Kion, are in town for their annual visit. Having immigrated from Hong Kong before the twins were born, Ippo and Kion have supported their children through thick and thin and are ready to lend a hand. They're starting to wonder, has their support made Millie and Billy incapable of standing on their own? When Ippo forces them to help her clean up the house next door, a hellish and run-down ruin that was the scene of a grisly murder, the twins are in for a nasty surprise. Night of terror, gore, and supernatural mayhem reveals that there is much more to Ippo and her children than meets the eye. Very, very cool premise there, and not at all where I thought that solicitation was going. So check that out on page 239. I'm sure it'll be available digitally, but if you want a physical copy, pre-order it. That's going to be your easiest way of getting it. The Night Ears Volume 1, She Eats at Night. Downward we go to Ahoy, and Mr. Paul Cornell has a trade paperback, Con and On, which I was looking forward to checking out. And now it is available in trade paperback form. Gripping comedy drama that follows the fictional cast of fans and professionals down through the decades as they attend the annual gathering of America's biggest comic book convention. We are not at all familiar with any of that in our daily lives. Page 240, check that one out. All right. So some last issues here. 242 gives you the last issue of Exo Man of War Unconquered, number 6 of 6. And then the trade paperback for Unconquered, book 2 of 2, Prestige edition, available on page 243.
Yep. This series was unconquered by a change of publisher, or at least a change of publisher ownership.
Indeed. And then a very Valentine special, one shot.
Very Valentine special.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta love a good one of these. Got Dr. Mirage in there, Bloodshot, Faith, and Archer. All there for you on page 244. 4 short stories in a square-bound edition. with a silver foil logo and no ads for that matter. Available for $13 before any discounts.
Wow.
But not bad. Not bad
Yeah.
for what you're getting out of it.
Yeah, not these days.
Yep. Brand new graphic novel, 0 Point, on page 246. This is written by Augustine Graham Nakamura, that is. And this is a 0 Point where predators become prey and redemption hangs by a bullet. All about Bird, a hitman seeking redemption from his ruthless past under the shadow of his mentor Crow. When a final mission goes sideways, he's pitched against Cat, a young and deadly assassin. You like your assassin books? There's a full graphic novel for you on page 246. Some damn fine artwork to go along with it. Further down into the solicitations we roll. And let's go with the Jaguar, because I like the look of that artwork on page 257. An Archie book, for that matter. The Jaguar OS by Carol Brown Ahmed and art by Tango. Something is killing the Pampas cats of northern Peru. A group of zoologists have come together to investigate these mysterious slayings. They know the culprit is a bird of prey, but the method of killing is unlike any of the birds local to the region. It's going to take someone with apex predator abilities to find out who's causing these murders. Someone like Yvette Velez, aka the Jaguar. But will the predator become the prey? Fascinating premise there. And it's an action-adventure story by Archie. So go figure. Page 257.
Well, the tie to South American wildlife is the most interesting thing to me there.
Yeah. Is it any idea if it's a pre-existing character that Archie already owned, or if they're just putting out something new?
Well, the Jaguar, that goes all the way back to the Golden Age, I think. The original Jaguar was a guy named Ralph Hardy. Okay. But this is a modern take on the concept.
Understood. Yeah, one of Archie's many superhero properties that are being repurposed.
Right, the old MLJ heroes.
Yep. And then for something a little more Archie, Archie's Valentine Spectacular on page 258, because of course. I need to mention this on page 264, The American Theater as Seen by Hirschfeld, 1962 to 2002. Hirschfeld is legendary in the theater business, always putting his signature in interesting places and his daughter's name in interesting places in the artwork. And I'm a huge fan of Hirschfeld's artwork in general, and happy to see this collection out there with some of his greatest works in The American Theater as Seen by Hirschfeld, 1962 to 2002 on page 264.
That's cool.
Yep. J. Michael Straczynski, bringing us out of AWA, a new epic tale from the Resistance University, started up with illustrations by Mike Choi. Good team there. As the Resistance Universe returns on page 270. So if you're into that, this is going to be for you.
And the title of it is You and I.
Mm-hmm. Two people named You and I.
It's the letter U and the letter I.
Indeed. This episode has been brought to you by...
Yeah.
Right.
And the Children's Television Workshop.
Yes, of course. And viewers like you. The U.S. Warren Artists Illustrators Special Limited Edition by Peter Richardson and Various. Ultimate guide to the U.S. artists who made Warren's Monster Mags the best in the business, available for you here on page 278. So if you've ever been a fan of Warren, or even if you're not, and you're just looking for some fantastic horror artwork, this is going to be for you in the Warren Artists Illustrators Special Limited Edition hardcover, page 278. Page 292. Critical Entertainment, LLC, Life is an Open Door, one-shot. Alonso Molina Gonzalez is the artist on this, and Mason Mendoza on the writing. Have you ever worked in a cramped office, looked at the exit door, and felt that urge to get up from your desk and make a break for it? No, never. Never.
Never.
Al, the working class Dalmatian, channels his animal impulses in this fun comic book short story about giving into instinct and going remote. Super duper cute, cool concept there for you. Life is an Open Door one shot, page 292. And 293 brings us Firebugs by Nina Bowling. Everything is changing, but everything is also exactly the same. After a trip to Paris, Incan returns home ready for a break from drugs. A supportive partner, Lily, is flushed, excited about a new connection she's made. Although Incan wants to be happy for her, there's a discomfort they can't shake. Sleepless nights fill with an endless scroll of images and headlines about climate disaster. A vague dysphoria simmers under their skin. They're able to identify that, like Lily, they are changing, but they're not sure exactly how. And you'll find more about that in Firebugs by Nino Bowling out of Drawn and Quarterly on page 293. 307, Black History Month book, I Run to Make My Heart Beat. Inspirational message of tolerance and unity in a polarizing world out of Fair Square Comics. The initial solicitation for it a little bit further up on page 306. Nina was born in a multicultural and multi-ethnic family, a mixed young woman with many questions about herself and her space in the world. Track and field competition will help her overcome her doubts. She runs not to escape reality, but to be the champion of her own life. When your differences are your strengths, I run to make my heart beat. On page 306. This sounds like a really cool concept, and the artwork is beautiful at that, from what they present. So do check that out. Rachel Kahn and Aude Massot are your creators. I Run to Make My Heart Beat on page 306. Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
That's great. A New Beginning. Disney Afternoon Adventures Volume 4. Super happy that they're publishing all this Disney Afternoon Adventure stuff, because for a while it was just sitting in a drawer, and unless you had the original copy of Disney Adventures, you weren't able to read them. And now they're finally doing that with a bunch of different properties, so very happy to see those out there.
Yeah.
The only thing, Gummy Bears was on Saturday mornings, but that's okay.
That's true. That's
Just
true.
saying.
It was part of the first class of Disney Afternoon series. They resurrected it to fill out the 2-hour block.
Right.
They introduced enough new series to squeeze it out.
Yep.
I don't remember it ever being on in the afternoons. I only ever remember it on Saturday mornings.
I remember
Very first year they did Disney Afternoon.
Wow.
Gummy Bears
Yes.
with
Yeah, I remember it because I was deep into the Disney Afternoon as it started, and I remember Gummy Bears being there for a very short amount of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
it. And it looks like we've got here is a comics adaptation of the pilot for that series. A New Beginning.
That's cool.
Yep, that's great. I wasn't aware that there were any Gummy Bear comics that had ever been produced. But I guess there were, and they're probably all right here.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Excellent.
Plus some DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck content in this 4th volume.
Yep. Happy to see it. And on that same page, by the way, was Walt Disney's Mickey and Donald, Mickey's Craziest Adventures, by Louis Trondheim and Nicholas Karamidas. So some other Walt Disney action for you there if you're into it. 48 pages in hardcover form. So it's a nice square bound copy of it for the looks of it for $22.99 on page 309.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to have to depart. My pumpkin is calling. I have an early wake-up call for work tomorrow morning
Sounds like a plan.
as the holiday week grows short.
Glad you were able to join us in general, Shane.
Yeah.
Have a happy and a healthy, and we'll talk to you in 2024.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Yep, Merry Christmas, Shane.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
All right. Page 312 has Maui Mighty Comics. I don't know if you caught this one, Murd, but this is a relief comic for the events that happened in Hawaii, and all proceeds will be going towards it. It's Roger McKenzie along with Stephen Butler, as the effects of the disastrous Maui fires are still being felt, and Number One Comics have responded with Maui Mighty Comics, a fundraiser comic for which all proceeds will go to the Maui relief. Roger McKenzie, Stephen Butler, and Mort Todd deliver 2 Mr. Mix-It tales. Renee King Thompson and Sandy Carruthers introduce Ms. Molecule, the hero who shrinks from danger, and Mackenzie and Ben Torres revive Charlton's martial arts legend, Yang.
Using the word legend a little loosely there, I think, but
certainly, yeah.
Even so.
Yep. And included is a remastered classic Charlton tale of Captain Mercury by Joe Gill and Rock Mostraserio. So very cool that they're doing this at Gemstone Publishing / Number One Comics. Maui Mighty Comics #1 on page 312.
Yeah. Interesting and appealing mishmash of creators and content there, and it's all for a good cause.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think I'm going to lay my $8 down for that.
Excellent. For any of you who haven't checked out Amulet or have a kid that might be interested in it, or if you yourself are interested in it, there's a volumes 1 through 9 complete box set of Amulet available on page 320. And on that same page is Amulet Volume 9, Wave Rider, by Kazu Kibushi. And this is the thrilling conclusion to Amulet after all these years. So if you want all 9 volumes in one box, you can get that. Or if you just want to finish out your collection, you can get that as well. So here's the Amulet and its conclusion after 9 graphic novels. Good run. Chris Sabella has a new book out of Humanoids with Mark Lamming on the artwork chores. Eden. Desperate to escape a dying Earth, a family schemes their way onto a massive spaceship towards a new planet, Eden. Shortly after they take off, they discover the terrifying truth. Their journey towards salvation becomes a fight to survive. A story of corporate greed and capitalism left unchecked in all too imaginable future. Interesting concept there on page 323. And it does not look like there's a lot of happy people there on the cover, for that matter. Sci-fi thriller,
Nope.
horror.
Yep, happy would not be the word to describe frozen corpses floating in space, certainly.
Yeah, exactly. They've had better days.
Yeah.
Excellent artwork, though. Very, very well done.
Yep, very nice.
They put a lot of pages in there for that.
Yeah. Humanoids is just preview page crazy these days.
Yep. Same with their Star-Crossed series. You got a whole bunch of preview pages for that. Solicited on 331, and then a whole bunch of preview pages until 336, and sold before sunrise, and then more after that. So, go figure. Got some Pokemon books available for you in Insight editions. Trainers Mini Exploration Guides to Unova, Alola, and Kalos. Some of the recent Pokemon locations all available for you. So if your kids want to know more about their favorite Pokemon, they can do so in these Insight editions available on page 348. I saw a new edition of one of their visual guides not too long ago, and I wonder if they're still using any of the screenshots that I took for them back in the day in any of these new editions.
I mean, there's no chance of royalties from that, is there?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I just find it cool that it lives on after all these years more than anything else.
Of course.
Yep. 352. In the Lev Gleason Library. This is offered again, but well worth checking out. Deadly Waters, a Silver Streak novel by D.K. Wada and Cindy Leong. This is a novel, but featuring the Silver Streak. Yeah, cool to see that offered out of Lev Gleason in any way.
Yep. It's the character out of whose adventures the Golden Age Daredevil spun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's there on 352. A little further along here, Manuscript Press brings us Comics Review Presents February 2024. It's America's longest running magazine of classic comics. Now has twice as many pages of strips. That's basically the reason that I check it out, that I mention it. The fact that it's the longest running magazine of classic comic books is fascinating enough as it is. And the Comics Review continues for you all on page 364 with some various different things, including Flash Gordon, the Shadow, and Phantom, and a bunch of other stuff. So,
yep, Gasoline Alley, Alley Oop. It's humor and heroics.
Yep,
and it's 128 pages, so I guess that's its newly doubled size.
Yep, not bad. On that next page, as I like to check out, as I like to mention these comics based on singers and whatnot. There's one on Nina Simone that's premiering out of NBM. Sophie Adrianson is putting that one out on the life and times of Nina Simone. Also offered again is Queen in Comics, David Bowie in Comics, and Prince in Comics. All there on page 365. And I am very much considering buying what is on page 366. I own scattered volumes of the color hardcovers. I have like 3 out of the 6 volumes. I don't even have 1, 2, 3. I think I have 1, 2, 4, because I thought I already owned 3, bought 4, and then never actually got back to buying it after that. This is a 20th anniversary color hardcover box set that looks like a PlayStation box for Scott Pilgrim.
I thought it looked like a gaming console package of some kind. I couldn't have named the platform.
Yep, yeah, that looks just like the PS5 box essentially, and or even further back, maybe just an old school PlayStation box, but nonetheless, this is 1,224 pages of content right here in hardcover form. It's a box set. They're all the separate box set editions of Scott Pilgrim on page 366. The going price before any sort of discount is $250 for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'll have to see if I can get a discount, and then I might actually, go ahead and do it. But I'd love to own this in box set in any form. I just don't know if it's quite worth that price tag.
I'm sure you can find it for less.
Oh, I know.
Just a little tiny bit of poking around.
My favorite is that it's also available in black and white in a separate box on 365. So if you don't want the color editions and you just want the straight up old school black and white editions, that's also available for the exact same price as the color editions.
Yeah.
No discount. No discount. Either way, it's now 20 years since the beginning of Scott Pilgrim. Go figure.
Wow.
How about 368? Cemetery Kids Don't Die. Love that name. Zach Thompson on the writing chores, Daniel Irizarry on the artwork. The 21st century sucks hard. It's made somewhat tolerable by the latest and greatest media innovations.
It secured my sympathy with that very first clause.
Enter the Dreamwave, the first gaming console played entirely while you sleep. That does not sound like a good idea at all. It's also one point of solace for 4 friends known as the Cemetery Kids who spend their nights roaming the open world of the most immersive and brutal horror game ever created, Nightmare Cemetery. Together they seek to dethrone an enigmatic humanoid monster known only as the King of Sleep. But when one of them doesn't wake up and instead finds their consciousness locked inside the game, the 3 remaining Cemetery Kids must navigate a forbidden landscape to rescue their friend and pray that the secret lurking at its center doesn't follow them home.
Ooh.
Yeah. maybe you don't play a game that happens while you're asleep.
Yeah, you're right. It really doesn't seem especially healthy.
No, it does not. But the
Especially
concept,
when there's monsters in there,
oh, absolutely.
Yes.
But the artwork and the concept are cool enough, but I ain't ever doing it. I'll read about it though. I just ain't ever doing it.
Oh, sure.
Page 268 for that. Rick and Morty Sherlock Holmes. Rick and Morty Sherlock Holmes. Rick and Morty.
Sherlock Holmes and Mortson. Yes, those lovely, painfully forced puns on the names of the characters. It's a hallmark of the property.
I'm Holmes, Morty. I'm Holmes. Daniel Kibbutt-Smith on the writing chores. Priscilla Tamontano on the artwork. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 372. It's the first of 5 interconnected one-shots, setting the stage for the biggest Rick and Morty event the Omniverse has ever seen.
Ooh. Omniverse, you say?
Mm-hmm. They said the magic void. Cullen Bunn and Brian Hertz, The Sixth Gun, gets an omnibus, by the way. So if you've never checked that out, this is now available in omnibus softcover on page 373. Collects the first 17 issues of The Sixth Gun, as well as The Sixth Gun's Sons of the Gun 1 through 5. So nice, good collection there. 592 pages, only for $40. Not too shabby.
Yep, I've heard good things about that series.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. We got Doctor Who: The White Dragon, available out of Paniki, UK, as we get a story from the 13th Doctor that was available in comic strip adventures, now collected together as one full story. So Doctor Who: The White Dragon by Jacqueline Rayner and Scott Gray, artwork by Martin Garatti and Russ Leach on page 376 for all you Doctor Who fans.
Bottom of page 377, we've got the 19th Loud House graphic novel, or collection of stories anyway, to be released from Paper Cuts. So, and that's 19 without counting all the various Loud House specials they've published, such as, on the top of the next page, the Loud House special, Loud Spies.
Yep.
So that property is continuing to pay off for Paper Cuts, and I'm very happy about that. I do enjoy me some Loud House. I was just watching the first Loud House Christmas episode from the second season the other night. It's just
Nice.
very well done, very tightly written. I would put it in a class with a Muppet Family Christmas in terms of quality of Christmas special writing.
High praise. High praise. Well, on that very same page, it has to be pointed out, DC Supervillains Mad Libs by Penguin Young Readers.
Whack, 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 whack.
Thank you for that. Just thank you. And that's on 378. All right, we are scrolling down to page 384, Nemesis the Warlock Definitive Edition Volume 1. This is a 2000 AD collection here, and this is back in print in a brand new series of definitive editions written by Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill, known for, of course, for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And this series is a comprehensive collection of the complete storyline in order and features development sketches showing the evolution of Nemesis and the Blitzspear and a whole bunch more. So any of you 2000 AD fans, this is going to be absolutely worth picking up on page 384 as Nemesis the Warlock comes back into print. All right, we're getting close to tomorrow's. Before we get there, on page 392, in the same vein as what I previously mentioned with Rock and Rollers, Rock and Roll Biographies, Foo Fighters, by Michael Oshenker and Victor Moya. I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan, and cool to see their history put together here in comic book form.
Sure.
Yep. Tells the story of Dave Grohl after he formed the Fighters, And there are various and multiple albums afterwards, and label changes and what have you, and lineup changes and the whole works. So well worth visiting on page 392.
If we could roll it back to page 391 for a sec.
But of course.
To take a look at a featured item at the top of the page there. From Silverline Comics, Trumps. That's Trumps, plural, number one. Written by Roland Mann, with art by Anthony Pereira. Roland Mann is apparently a writer-editor who worked on various Malibu Ultraverse properties back in the 90s. Also had a couple of series from Aircell Comics, the company that gave the world the Men in Black. He had a thing called Cat and Mouse that came out through there that's apparently due to be revived soon. But this is something that he's had in the back of his mind for some time. It's kind of an homage to his family's love of playing cards, and it's kind of a Game of Thrones style sci-fi epic about royal houses, each of which is based on a suit of playing cards. Simple as that.
Huh.
It's got the whole idea of it kind of has like a 90s like third publisher feel to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nicely done.
So I've always been a sucker for playing card imagery in comics, you know, Gambit being a favorite character, Jack of Hearts being another. So I'll probably give this one a try.
The Royal Flush Gang.
Also, absolutely.
Yep. Excellent.
And now, the moment that Chris wished he could have stuck around for.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Or do you have something else before we get to tomorrow's?
Well, this is what I wanted to point out on page 393, real quick before we get there. Frank Frazetta, an artist tribute hardcover. This is a selection of incredible artists who pay tribute to Frank Frazetta by creating new art inspired by his works, accomplished by in-depth interviews with members of the Frazetta family. Frazetta is often referred to as the godfather of fantasy art and one of the most renowned illustrators of the 20th century. And this discovered newly created pieces inspired by Frank Frazetta's work and style as a selection of incredible artists from around the world pay tribute, providing in-depth tutorials on their process along the way. This is an awesome, awesome idea, and should be pretty fascinating to see new artists reinterpreting Frazetta's stuff and creating stuff based off it. So Frank Frazetta, an artist tribute out of 3D Total Publishing on 393.
Well, Chris would probably be ing at that also.
Yes, indeed. And now, Tomorrow's.
Right. And what Tomorrow's is publishing this month is, well, primarily Alter Ego number 187, which is a tribute to Edmund Hamilton, writer of Two Worlds, one of the great early science fiction authors who then went on to an illustrious career at DC Comics, writing Superman, Batman, and especially the Legion of Superheroes. Learn about his encounters with Ray Bradbury, Mort Weisinger, Julius Schwartz et al., a panoply of titans.
Excellent.
Yep, it was after this man that a character named Colonel Future, who was a Bronze Age Superman supporting character, was named after him. His alter ego was Edmund Hamilton.
Nice. Very cool. And Comic Book Creators, number 334 on that very same page. CBC talks with writer, artist, luminary Dan Jurgens on matters of life and death regarding Superman match, as well as hitting his stride on Sun Devils, creating Booster Gold, developing the Doomsday scenario with the demise of the Man of Steel, and more. Plus, we explore the fascinating Glutverse, a continuity featuring characters created by Don Glut that traverse Gold Key, Marvel, DC, and other surprising places. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember Don Glut. I think he understudied for Roy Thomas a couple of times at Marvel, for example. Wrote some issues of Invaders, for example.
Nice. Yeah, this one's going to be great. Plus, there's some Mike Deodato Jr. and Frank Bortz stuff in here. So, yeah, very interesting issue of Comic Book Creator to check out. Page issue 334 there on 394. All right, let's see if any of these catch my eye. The Cemeterians, I have to mention, for name alone on page 398.
It is a great title.
It's from the powerhouse team of Dan Krause and Manhouse. Man, they're doing good with naming right here. Dan Krause, Manhouse, Cemeterians, beautiful. After human bones begin growing inside inanimate objects all across the globe, a renegade scientist and brilliant theologian delve into the cemeteries where the bones originated, discovering an otherworldly force tired of being buried in darkness. Ooh. Fascinating.
That's a concept for you.
Yep.
Plus, it's colored by Kurt Russell.
Nice.
Kurt Michael Russell.
Well, yes, but, close enough. Close enough. Yeah. Didn't think Kurt Russell was branching out, but, you never
know. He's a Renaissance man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right. And with that, I think I can go ahead over to the manga section.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. And beginning here with Status Royale on page 415. Go for the throne in Status Royale. Another excellent, excellent title. Status Royale stands as the ultimate game for those aspiring to join the ranks of elite players in the competitive world of VR esports. Vel, initially a casual gamer alongside her best friend and teammate June, suddenly shifts gears when he shuts her down and skips town. Vel's competitive spirit is then unlocked, and she vows to challenge her former best friend with her own team of amateur Status Royale players. Determined to beat June in his own game, Vel dives in head first. Yet as the game unfolds, she's left wondering if she really knows who she's competing against. This is Volume 1, story and art by Ru Zhu. Man, these alliterative names are just perfect. Checking it out here. It's a choose your teammates carefully and level up fast, because in the crazy world of esports, anyone can snatch the crown. Status Royale, page 415. A little further down, page 419. My name is Shingo. A robot's existential journey to understanding life and love.
Oh boy. I hope it doesn't get done by Bicentennial Man did.
Yep. Satoru loves robots. When an industrial robot named Monroe begins to work at his father's factory, Satoru is fascinated. As he and his friend Marin spend more time with Monroe, they start to suspect there's more to the being than anyone else realizes. But neither children nor adults are prepared for Monroe's violent awakening into consciousness, and through a chilling science fiction narrative exploring the nexus of humanity and artificial intelligence, crafted by renowned horror manga creator Kazuo Umezu. My name is Shingo, the Perfect Edition, Volume 1, on page 419. I'm not a machine, I'm a real boy.
Whatever you said.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I'll try to find one more and then call it a night. Let's look for something nice and weird. Actually, here we are, page 430, out of Ize Press, The Uncanny Counter, Volume 1. The world is that the noodle shop on the corner. The word is at the noodle shop on the corner. You can tell it's late. Serves broth that's out of this world. But little do they know, it's actually run by people from the afterlife. To be more precise, the restaurant is a front for individuals called counters who have formed contracts with souls from the hereafter. They were given special powers for their job hunting down renegade souls who have escaped into Earth to prey on the living. When So Moon, a high schooler disabled by a tragic car accident, is invited into the group, he hesitates until he's offered a chance to meet his deceased parents as a reward. Can he complete the mission and tell them the words he never got to say? Oh man, this is awesome.
Team of renegade ghost hunters who also run a noodle shop. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
straddles a couple of the right genres there.
Absolutely. Yep. The Uncanny Counter by E. Jang on page 430. I think that's a pretty damn way to shoot our bolt, quite frankly, unless you have any toys that you would like to share.
I have two things I would like to shout out in the merch section in the back.
Fantastic. Then let me get down there in this extra long manga section for some reason. There we go. Okay. What page number are you heading to, sir?
I'm looking at page number M16. First
Okay,
of all.
good. Shouldn't be too far down here. Here we are. M16. Voila. Yes.
And
Yep.
that's just a dangle in front of your nose there, Ian. It's
Oh, yeah.
Series 4 of the Invincible action figures. It's Rexplode.
And the Mauler twins, which means you have to buy 2.
Exactly. It's that's how they get you.
My favorite thing about the Mauler twins is that one of them is the clone, and you'll never know which one it is, and whichever one thinks they're the original makes them the superior, but they have no idea which one actually is. It's a beautiful concept.
Yep, that's one that I haven't read about yet, but I already love it.
Yep. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme is on the next page. So, if you want some Jean-Claude Van Damme action, they've got a deluxe action figure for you on M17. Yeah, there.
Yep, that's a bonus.
Yep.
And then the other thing, to end things on a holiday-appropriate note, on page 28.
Excellent. Oh, yes.
It's a Chewbacca Life Day bust. Wearing his choir boy robes from the end of the Star Wars holiday special.
But they didn't make one of B. Arthur? I mean, come on.
Yeah, really. I know Harvey Korman in Alien Drag.
Amazing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bolt shot, and a bolt shot for the year. So, well done.
Yeah, I think we're ending it on a good note.
I think so too. I absolutely do. And once again, I would like to thank you listeners at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak for making this happen. So thank you very much for that continued support. For as little as $1 a month, you keep it happening. So thank you very much. Patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. And I thank you, Murd, for being Shane tonight. Mm-hmm. Even though we had a Shane, but now we have a different Shane.
Yep. If you don't have a Shane, you have to invent one.
Absolutely. And a very, very happy and a healthy new year to you, Murd, and looking forward to doing this with you for another year to go.
Mm-hmm. Amen, Ian, and a happy new year to you as well. And many more adventures together, and hopefully not quite as many of them involving just the two of us left to do this at the end.
Oh, but that's half the fun. I mean, come on.
In fairness to the others, Chris has walked the long walk with us a few times, but
yes, he has, and now he's walking the long walk with the dog. So that's
with his poor dog. Yes, oh boy, Bailey, God bless you. I hope you survive this.
Yes, most definitely the case. Most definitely. All right, here we go.
If you'd like to send us an email, the address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. If you'd rather leave a voicemail, you can call 267-702-6642. You can like us on Facebook, and you can join our Comic Geek Speak supergroup there, where you can leave feedback about this and many other episodes of the show, and start conversation threads with your fellow CGS listeners and fans about any geeky topic you like. You can also go to the comicforums.vanillacommunity.com, our original forum, to do basically the same thing. You can follow us on Twitter, where our handle is @ComicGeekSpeak. We're on Blue Sky too, so if you're there, we're also there. You can go to youtube.com/comicgeekspeak to watch the video versions of all of our recent episodes, including this one. It's a great way to follow along with our previews, odysseys, and see all the things that we see, and just to have a clearer idea of what we're talking about as we gush over the different upcoming projects about which we enthuse. We thank everyone, as always, who have donated monetarily to the show by whatever giving platform you prefer. We truly appreciate it, and the show would not be what it is today without your assistance. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time. And
Happy
to all,
life
a good night.
There you go. I was going to say around the same thing. And a very happy life day to all, and to all, good night.
Well, we can go with yours. That's
either way.